click start streaming. I'm just waiting on everybody to get here before I click the
Right.
go live on YouTube. Which episode?
Hey, how loud is there audio coming from me, or is it pretty quiet?
I'm hearing audio. It's actually
No.
seems a little bit louder than it was in the Discord for some reason.
I'm double checking. I've got my air conditioner running. I want to make sure.
Oh, if you're talking background noise, then I can
there's
hear
no
you.
background noise.
Okay.
No.
Cool. I got it on full blast and like aimed at my computer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and maximize that. There we go.
Oh, hey, it just took us live. When did they start doing that?
I don't know. Welcome to the podcast. That's Nick.
Yeah, hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. I'm Nick. I need to change the title of this because it's actually episode 44. Apparently, when you go live on OBS now, it just instantly tells YouTube, "Oh yeah, go live, start stream."
Hey Nick.
Hey, what?
I can literally see Tali on your shoulder.
What?
No, like on your shoulder. Look at your shoulder, your left shoulder.
Oh
I
yeah,
can
like
literally see
yeah,
Tali.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, podcast time. How is everybody doing?
I'm assuming we're live.
We are
Good.
officially live. Yeah, I
I'm
didn't
going
realize
absolutely
we-
batshit crazy for my last like day in quarantine.
It sounds right.
I've been
Yeah, I can't believe
Alright.
it's been 14 fucking days already.
Yeah, I
know, it's
officially got it 17 or 18 days ago.
Yeah,
So I had symptoms for like 2 days before I was like, I should probably get tested.
yeah.
I was so mad on the way there. I should not be talking about this on the air, but I don't care. Because the whole way to the test, I was like, I'm literally not sick, so I don't know why I'm fucking doing this. Oh, my camera's not on. No, but the whole time I was like, I'm not sick. I don't know why I'm doing this. Everybody wants me to get this test. It's going to hurt. I'm a little bitch. I don't want to do it because I know I don't have it. I got it, and it was like, oh, everybody was smarter than me.
Right.
I've been the same. I've been detoxing myself from games a little bit. I haven't been playing nearly as much. Like I'm actually right now. This is the first time I've logged into World of Warcraft in like 4 or 5 days. Like the extent of my game playing has been like a couple rounds of Fall Guys.
I was gonna say
at
Fall
night
Guys.
with Shannon and Nick,
There you go.
and then last night playing, not last night, the night before playing Ultimate Chicken Horse with
Such a good game.
Shannon and Nick. So I mean that's really been the extent of my game playing since we last talked. I will say I did just get a text from in the group chat. I don't know if you guys saw it. I think just because of the time constraints, which I unfortunately have placed on the group due to my other activities, and just the relatively chaotic events of the day, especially regarding Corey and Kaylee and all that. I think it's probably better that we just push the RP session till sometime this weekend, if that's beneficial for everybody.
I'm gonna say I will be available Friday night or Sunday night.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and shoot for. Dinner ready?
No,
No.
we don't have any milk. It's like expired.
Okay.
We don't have anything.
Okay. Yeah. Let's shoot for like Friday night. Nick, what time will you be home?
I mean, I am off work at 5, so I should be home.
Oh shit. Okay, so it's not a late night for you.
No. That's
I'm gonna go get alcohol. I'll be back.
yeah. I was
Okay.
gonna say even if we wanted to do a late night, like I'll be available at like 10 o'clock on Saturday. Like we close at 10. So I mean, like I can do late night, but I'm assuming people aren't wanting.
Yeah.
Like Friday night I'm off at 5. Sunday night I'm off at 4.
Let's assume that Shannon's working on Friday because he typically works. So he gets off work at 8, can probably be home by 8:30. How does like 9 o'clock
9 o'clock
sound?
on Friday? Shouldn't be an
Is
issue at
that
all.
too late for people? Wayne, you're the one that typically wakes up early. So is that too late for you to do like a 1 hour, hour and a half long RP session?
From what, I'm sorry, I was eating a brownie. What time did we say?
Friday at like 9-ish, 9 to like 10, 10:30.
Yeah, I can work with that.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and plan for that then. and we will go from we'll do the RP session then. So I have just a little bit more time that I can hang out on the podcast, but then I'm gonna have to step away to go eat dinner and then go play nerd cards with friends.
Have fun.
Speaking of which, I just found my commander deck. So
Nice. Yeah, I went over and played last night with some friends and knocked them all out and won a couple packs, and then we're doing a large scale draft tonight. I think there's like 8 people that are going to be involved, so
Nice.
it's going to be a big old draft.
last time I did a Magic draft was Joe's bachelor party.
Nice. But yeah,
We did with the original release of Theros.
so before I go, just a couple things I'd like to chat about.
Yeah.
So has anyone else seen that Call of Duty reveal from this morning?
Are you talking about the fact that it's completely censored for the entire world?
What is completely censored for the entire world?
So the original trailer that dropped shows images of the Tiananmen Square protests, and
Yep.
China said, "Fuck that! This game is banned and this trailer is banned." So now they are censoring anything relating to China and Tiananmen Square from the game, and have been pulled from all trailers. You cannot see the original trailer now. You can only see the new censored trailer that
I mean, as
China approved.
as upsetting as that is, as much as I don't support Chinese censorship and all that, and them saying, "Oh, we didn't murder a bunch of students in a square in 1989, and we didn't do this, and we didn't send soldiers in with tanks to crush their bodies into pulp and wash them down the drains. We didn't do that. That never happened. What are you talking about?" Inevitably, Activision and Treyarch, they want money. And as much as it sucks for them to do it, it was going to happen no matter what. As soon as they tried to push the controversial aspect,
But
we knew it was going to happen. Should they have censored the entire game for the entire world? No. Should they have released a censored game just for China that has that stuff removed so that they can still get their honey out of the pot? Yes. Should the rest of the world have to deal with the censorship? No. Do I think that's an issue? Yes. Is it game breaking or world ending? At this point, I'm too excited for the game.
here's my thing. I also find it hilarious that the entire trailer is revolving around know the past or be doomed to repeat it.
And they're doing that. Yeah.
And they are specifically getting rid of segments of the past, and it's kind of ironic to me.
It is ironic in a funny way. But beyond that,
I will say, game looks fucking good.
Looks fantastic. I'm really excited that they've pushed away from like the Infinity Ward style with Modern Warfare, where everything was like grays and browns. The game just looks more colorful. The game looks more colorful. It looks like it's going to have that gritty Black Ops feel that Black Ops 1 and 2 had. And,
and this
Black
is
Ops
a
3
direct sequel to 1.
Exactly. Black Ops 3 and 4 sort of stepped away from that.
Right.
So having that gritty feeling come back I'm really excited for. I'm super stoked for the multiplayer reveal on September 9th. I will say I'm interested to see what they do with Warzone. I wonder if they're just going to like migrate Warzone, if Warzone is going to continue to be what it is and it's just going to migrate to the Black Ops game client, or I don't know, because I don't see that.
Or if they're just because they said this is going to be the last season for Warzone. So
Exactly. Or if they're just gonna drop it. Which
I have a feeling they'll probably just keep it up. Maybe
Yeah.
support like game fixing and stuff like that, but not have another season.
And then content season.
In this, and then like
As
a
long as
Blackout
they-
2.0.
As long as they change Blackout. I did not like the original iteration of Blackout. I was not a
100%
fan. If they take Warzone as it is and just change all the content, new map that fits the Call of Duty Cold War theme, change all the weapons to be those weapons that are in the Cold War game, but it still plays the same, it still operates the same, it's still everything is still the same about the game, just different items and stuff, I'm in. I was not a fan of Blackout from Black Ops 4. On the other thing I would like to chat about, Gamescom starts tomorrow. Predictions, anyone? My biggest prediction is we're going to see a hard release date for the World of Warcraft expansion. 100% we are going to get a hard release date. My theory is that when they unveil the first of the Afterlives animated shorts, that short is going to end, screen fades to black, splash screen comes up with the Shadowlands logo and a release date below it. That's my prediction right there. Is that we're going to see a hard release date for the Shadowlands expansion. I think we will see. Me and Joe were talking about this a little bit earlier. I think we will probably see hard release dates for next gen consoles. I feel like Xbox and Sony are going to come out and say, "Hey, yeah, we know we've been talking about it for a while, but Xbox is launching November 14th. PlayStation 5 is launching November 15th."
Yeah.
Ambiguous dates, but I feel like we'll see that. I honestly think that we might see now. See, this is a little skewed because they delayed it. I think we might see more from Halo Infinite.
Probably.
Now it might be a little changed because they said they're pushing the game back to work on some issues based on feedback. So I could see them saying, "Hey, we had this trailer lined up for Gamescom showing off multiplayer, right?
Okay.
But because of the changes we're making, we decided to pull that trailer and we're going to reveal it later on in the year." Potentially. Or they might just say, all the stuff that we showed in the multiplayer trailer, not much of it is going to change in regards to the game. Here's your first look at multiplayer. I could see that happening. But yeah, I think that's really the extent of my predictions for it. Beyond what we're going to see coming out of the NVIDIA conference on the 1st.
Yeah.
Which is going to be
the new graphics cards and
because videocards.com just posted an article today that says that the 3090 is going to have 24 gigabytes of VRAM.
Yes, there's a 15.
See, here's the thing. What I think's happening is all these leaks on the price are it's NVIDIA is setting expectations high, because right now the 2080 Ti MSRP is for $1,100. Yeah. Unless you get an aftermarket card, and the aftermarket card's typically MSRP for like $12. I think what they're doing is they're leaking all these prices, because I've seen people say, "Oh yeah, this card's going to cost $1,800." They're leaking all these prices, and then when they announce it finally, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, the 3090, it's only $1,250," and everyone's going to be like, better than I expected. So I think they're intentional. It's sort of like what Apple does with the iPhones. They'll intentionally release things to sort of temper expectations, and then when they do the final reveal, they're like, "Hey, we said it was going to cost $1,600, but joke's on you fools, it's only $1,450."
But the stand for it's $1,000.
Exactly. So I could very easily see it being a situation like that where the card's going to cost more than $1,000. It's going to happen.
It's everything you're getting on that card.
Exactly. You're getting 24 gigabytes of VRAM. You're getting over a terabyte of video data bandwidth. I mean, this card is going to be a fucking monstrosity. But yeah, my body is ready. My wallet is not.
Sounds right.
But yeah, I think those are really the extent of my my expectations for Gamescom. I'm just excited that I felt a little let down with how E3 handled their virtual E3, because it really didn't feel like E3. It was more so
not at all.
It was like, hey, Xbox is doing this reveal in June. Okay, Sony's doing theirs at the end of July. Nintendo's doing theirs on like a Tuesday afternoon in a basement of a Subway on a in August. It's just it didn't feel like a conference.
With that said, the one thing I will say on that, not
Yeah.
to jump in, but I will say a lot of that was out of E3's hands because a lot of these companies said, well, since E3 is getting canceled, we're just going to leave this year and we'll do our own thing.
Yeah, very true.
So I will at least give that to, everybody had their own schedule.
I'm much more excited for Gamescom because I think it's going to have that structure and that hype that comes from conferences. That's why like I'm super excited to wake up tomorrow and just watch the opening night ceremonies because I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it because it's like that night before E3 and it's like, oh my God, it starts tomorrow. We're getting all these new trailers. We're getting all these premieres. And it's that hype that I feel was missing from E3 earlier this year.
I completely agree.
Because
the big thing was, especially when it was just, we're used to getting, like you said, 200 trailers in a 3-day period. And then it was, we're getting like 20 trailers every other week. And it was just like, it didn't feel like a conference. Like you said, it just kind of felt like, there's some new videos online. But
yeah.
I definitely get that. CJ, I apologize. I cut you off.
What?
You were starting to say something. I jumped in.
No, you're good. No, all I was going to say is I completely agree. Like, because of the whole E3 thing, it felt like a jumbled, like, the best way to the example I give for Nintendo is like their Pokemon Direct was more informative than the actual like Nintendo Direct, which was kind of weird because like you feel like it'd be the other way around, but it was just a weird way. So with this coming up, with this pretty much being tomorrow, I'm really excited because it really feels like what E3 should have been this year.
100%, and that's my sentiment exactly.
I'm excited for it, and like that's weird because I should have been excited for E3, but when it was jumbled up into so many pieces, it's just like, okay, what day is getting? Oh, it's a month from now. Well,
cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, exactly my thoughts. It felt so jumbled, and it wasn't the same. It didn't have the hype that E3 always generates every single year, and now going into Gamescom, I mean, I've had this date marked on my calendar in my phone for a month now, and I've been counting down the days to the first day of Gamescom because it's just been that it's got that hype, it's got the advertising for it, and all the developers being like, make sure to tune in to opening night of Gamescom. You're gonna see something really cool. It's got that feel again, and I'm just super excited for it.
I really, 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 especially with all of the leaks that have happened in the last week, I really want to know what the initiative is working on. I don't know if you guys have followed this studio as much as I have.
What have they worked on?
Nothing. This is their premier game.
This is their first game. But
the initiative is a studio that Microsoft put together for Xbox Studios, where they hired a bunch of people from other big studios. So they've got people from Naughty Dog. They've got people from
I heard about
Bungie.
this.
They've got all these huge developers working on something that they won't tell you. And then this week it was leaked that they're going to be revealing Perfect Dark.
Third person Perfect Dark.
Yes.
And
I want this to be real.
It's really interesting though that they're labeling the initiative as instead of a AAA studio as a quad A studio.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's always been AAA, and you've always been like, okay, AAA studios, EA, Activision, all these big names, and now there's this studio that has no portfolio realistically, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the first ever quad A studio. So I hope that what they come out with is fucking just groundbreaking.
That is my concern. Is I'm like, they are getting very ambitious in their talks.
Yep.
But it's like you guys so far have done nothing to back this up. So I have faith. I'm hoping, I've seen all of the people and all the studios and all the games that have been worked on that these people have come from. But I'm like, you're doing Perfect Dark. Going to be fantastic. I love Perfect Dark. But at the same time, I'm like, it's an existing franchise.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you going to do that's going to be revolutionary.
And see, that's what I think that we might see something from it. We might say like, hey, you know, as a way to bring the team together, we are working on rebooting the Perfect Dark series, but here's something that we're working on that's ours.
Yeah.
And I could very easily see very similar to like what Bethesda did with the ES6 trailer. Like, hey, we're working on it. Cool your fucking tits. And they're just like, they just show a splash screen of a landscape and like, hey, it's being worked on. Stop bothering us about it. I could very easily see the initiative doing something like that where they're like, hey, here's this big trailer for Perfect Dark. And, you know, we're remaking it. We've got all these fantastic talents and all this stuff. By the way, look at this other cool thing that we're working on that's not going to come out for 6 years.
It's going to be like Avowed. Is it Avowed?
Yeah, the new one from yeah.
Where they were like, oh, look at this other game that we're doing. Oh, but here's this. No, my thing is, I still love Pete Hines sent out a tweet, and it is so funny. I think I've referenced it multiple times on the podcast, but it's so funny. Where somebody made a comment and was like, I cannot wait for Elder Scrolls 6. So excited for this game. When are we getting it? You know, when's it coming? And Pete Hines' only response was something about we're doing Starfield first, and if you're this excited for it right now, waiting for the reveal date, I have greatly mishandled your expectations.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's like I'm not doing my job because it's not coming for years. Which I think will be weird that this is, I do believe this is the first generation that we have not had an Elder Scrolls game. Like an actual Elder Scrolls game.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll give you to an extent, only because if you're counting Fallout 76
I'm not.
okay, I was gonna say because if you're counting Fallout 76, then you would have to count Elder Scrolls Online.
No.
It's so
Yeah.
the way that I look at it, and I
Is
love
in
Elder Scrolls
Fallout.
Online. I love Fallout 76. I know people give a shit. I love the game, but both of those games were not made by Bethesda. They are made by ZeniMax Online Studios,
Yep.
overseen by with people from Bethesda.
Yes. It was not a Bethesda product. It is not an in-house creation.
Correct.
That's why I think that's actually really interesting that you made that comment because that hadn't really clicked for me that this is the first major console generation that has come and gone that we have not seen a full-on Bethesda product. I mean, Fallout
We got
4,
Fallout 4, yeah, I was gonna say
Fallout
but
4, but that's the
even that was early on.
that was that game's what, like 4 years old now?
Came out 2015,
Yeah.
so
5 years old? Jesus Christ.
yeah, I know.
So
And I still haven't beaten it. As big of a Fallout fan as I am, I never beat Fallout 4.
you're an embarrassment and a disappointment, Joe.
I know. Ask me how many Elder Scrolls games I've beaten.
How many what?
Elder Scrolls games.
How
0.
many?
Nick is correct.
Oof.
I have played them all for hundreds of hours. Never beat the main storyline. First thing I always do is go straight to the Dark Brotherhood. Every
Sounds
time.
about right.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
So,
seriously, if you look at it. Or sorry, Nick.
Oh no! You're good.
I was just gonna say to reiterate. I mean, that point. I mean, literally, the original Xbox we had Morrowind. 360 we had Oblivion and Skyrim, and then Xbox One we just had a remaster of Skyrim. So yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. I will say I do have to go eat dinner. Pleasure
Good
chatting with
luck.
y'all. Sorry we
Let us know
couldn't
how
do
you
the RP session, but
Yeah,
again,
sorry.
Friday night, 9 o'clock.
Fridays
I-
what we decided.
Yes, Friday night, 9 o'clock. I will continue to text people over the next day or two to remind people to be online and ready for it. We will just do it in Discord. I don't think we really need to live stream it. I mean, we can if people want to, but I think this is
worst case scenario. I'll just screen grab it and then
Yeah.
just if something happens that we want to eventually release it, we can just upload
yeah.
it.
I figure this is mostly just for us as a party to get some RP done with the new character in the group before we actually have our session this coming
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Real quick, what time did we say?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
All right, guys. I'm out of here. Pleasure talking with
Bye.
y'all. Bye
Just
bye.
let us know how you do.
Bye.
So I know it's not game related.
Battletoads.
Batman.
Oh, dude. No.
Thoughts?
Holy shit. So
What?
the best explanation of Batman that I can sum up is I saw a buddy of mine made a post on Facebook and it literally just said, "Some of y'all owe Robert Pattinson an apology." And I was like, I'm one of those people.
Well, here's
Wait,
the
I
thing.
did they release a trailer? Because I haven't seen the
Where have you been?
What?
Yeah,
Working.
the Batman.
So
Dude, still, you have a
I-
phone.
Dude,
CJ's
right now I'm
cool.
working 6 days a week, like
Cool.
8 to
That's
12
awesome.
hour days right now.
Great internet thing, video. CJ.
So people, I want to talk about the Robert Pattinson thing. People always give him shit because of Twilight, but if you know the backstory, it wasn't his call. It was the director's call of why he was the way he was in that movie. If you've ever seen The Lighthouse,
The teaser trailer from 3 days ago, right?
Yes.
what?
The teaser trailer from 3 days ago.
Are you gonna watch it real quick?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm just gonna watch it.
Goddamn good. Continue, CJ.
But if you've ever seen the current movie he's been in with William Dafoe, The Lighthouse, I would say that
Lighthouse.
is a very
The
well
Lighthouse.
representation of how well of an actor he is.
Yeah, The
My issue-
Lighthouse. It's such. I loved that film, and that was a movie that ended, and me and Joe were like, "Wow."
I looked at my
Wow.
dad,
And
and
my
he was
dad was like,
mad. He was like,
"Holy
"What the
shit,
fuck was
wow."
that shitty
Like, what
movie?"
the fuck? Yeah.
We
And I
were
was
like, "It was so
Like
good."
me and Dad are like me and Joe are on one side, Dad's on another, and it just Dad hated that film, and me and Joe were just like, "No, that was good." That was
My thing with
great.
Robert Pattinson is Robert Pattinson. I have come around on as an actor. Where again, yes, I didn't like him because early on in his career, I hate to say it, I didn't even like him in Harry Potter. I didn't even think he was that good. She's only in it for like 5-10 minutes.
Oh, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, but it's just like he was only okay. But as an adult, he's done a very good job. And I'm coming around on him. But for me, I was looking at Batman, and I was like, when I look at Robert Pattinson, I don't see Batman. But with that said, when I looked at Christian Bale, I didn't see Batman. And I was like, why are they having Christian Bale do Batman? And then I said the same thing with Heath Ledger. I said the same thing with Nick, help me out on his name. Cillian Murphy. Don't need your help. They were like, Cillian Murphy's doing Scarecrow. I was like, why the fuck are they getting Cillian Murphy to do this? And I saw it and was just like, holy shit. So yeah, after the trailer, I was like, I really need to stop being so hard on people. Like, he looks fantastic. I do have my concerns still, but
So when they first gave a screenshot of him in the suit, I was kind of skeptical. Even when they first announced he was going to be Batman, I was more sold on him doing a Beyond or Batman Beyond type of thing, Terry McGinnis.
yeah, I could do that. I could see him being Terry.
But then they gave the
That was another thing. Is there was a huge rumor when he was first announced was that he was doing Terry, and they were going to be bringing back Michael Keaton
Yes.
as
I
Bruce,
heard that.
which I would be fucking all over that.
Too.
But
My thing is just, again, this is nothing against Robert Pattinson, but like, he's not a big guy. And again, Christian Bale wasn't either. But I mean, like, you know, I just, when you think of Batman, you think of, you know, big honking motherfucker. And like, I was like, I don't see Robert Pattinson being that until I saw the trailer. And I was like, oh,
dude, with it being a year to inexperienced Batman, they pulled it off very well.
which I did not know that. Because at the time that everything I had read about it, I had never seen, which they may have said it, and I just didn't see it. But I never saw a timeline on where this would be in Batman's timeline. So no, it makes complete sense of like, this is, you know, year 2. I was like, when they said year 2, I was like, that makes sense.
I think they did a really good job, like villain wise. I think the Riddler, phenomenal. Like the way they portrayed him, the way they're portraying it, I think it's a really well way to do it because it's kind of more of like, I don't want to say a murder mystery, but like, it just got that gritty feel to it. And the way they're portraying him, it like I know the only other representation we have is Jim Carrey being the Riddler, but like
Oh, we've got the animated series.
just the way they presented it, I feel like it's going to be like a really well way they're going to do it. My only concern is the way with the other villains that they said they're going to like slowly like introduce them as the movie goes on. I'm not really like unless they do a really well really good way of doing it. I feel like that might be a little overload, but like I said, they've only stated that they're going to slowly reveal them. They haven't really said how, so I'm kind of just on the fence on that part.
My big thing is I am going to compare this to another film. I want to be very clear. I absolutely love this film. Sorry, 1 second. No. Shit, what was I saying? Sorry, no. Amazing Spider-Man 2. I loved that film. I know I get so much shit for that. People stare at me weird, but I loved that film. But everyone's complaint with that film was the fact that everyone was like, you had way too much going on with too many villains. And ever since that movie, I know we're talking Marvel versus DC, but ever since then, Marvel movies have seemed to be more streamlined where, okay, we have a villain and this is happening. Maybe we'll have someone else that we're setting up, but one person. And then DC's been like, fuck it. You know how we fix this film? 14 villains.
Shotgun.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
19.
basically.
Suicide Squad, they announced that they have 20 people in the Suicide Squad this time around, which, by the way, fixing that movie was not going to be adding more people.
So I heard a thing. I heard and read a thing. The reason why they James Gunn added so many characters is because he wanted this time around to pretty much put the stakes up of who's going to survive and who's going to die. And it's one of those things where that's why there's so many people, because the one thing where the first one kind of failed was you had such a small crew, like you could tell who was going to live and who was going to die. With this one, it's up in the air. Like there's a lot of people that could die. There's a lot of people that could stay.
I don't know. Again, my problem though is I get that and I understand saying, okay, you know, we need to be able to have that openness on what we can do now. But it's a 2-hour movie. Like we're not talking the first season of a TV show. Like if it was like Game of Thrones, I'm like, okay, I get it. I know why you threw so many characters into that show because we were killing so many that you need to keep replacing them. It's like, this is a 2-hour movie. You know, an hour of this movie is going to be set up, and then that leaves you an hour to resolve it. You're not going to resolve you can't start
It
with
takes an
Endgame.
hour to set up the pins, and now we have an hour to kill every one of the pins.
But it's like Endgame had, 40 people in it, but we've already know what those people are doing, what their objectives were, what their goals were. This movie was just showing how they came together to achieve that. So it's like you can't start with Endgame. And
that's DC's whole
too much
road.
But again, it's James Gunn. It's James Gunn. I will give it a chance because my God, did he blow me away with the first Guardians? I don't know. I'm worried about it. Especially I'm really over the Harley Quinn thing. I am so goddamn over Harley Quinn.
So there's a rumor that she's going to be one of the ones that's going to be killed off in the movie.
I'm okay with that.
Which I think it had to do something with Margot Robbie's contract. It was weird. Like she's toward the end of it, and because of the Birds of Prey, how not well received it was, and it was kind of like it technically wasn't her. Well, it was her movie, but it wasn't supposed to be her movie.
Correct.
But since it was themed around her, she kind of had her movie. So this going into this is kind of like, oh hey, you're gonna be on the chopping block because you've already had your time in the spotlight. So we're probably gonna kill off your character. And knowing them, they're gonna do it in like a fantastical way, or they're just gonna leave it up to interpretation. Like she could be alive, she could be dead. Because knowing them, it's Margot Robbie, and it's a character that for some weird reason is just popular. I don't understand. Just personally me. So they could leave it ambiguous, keep her kind of, oh, she could be dead, she could be alive. She's dead if no one wants her to be around, or oh hey, we can pull her out of the grave later on if we need to.
I just hate the fact that, I'm sorry, as someone who watched the animated series, Nick, I know you probably watched the animated series more than I did as a kid. I was such a big Harley Quinn fan back in the day, but ever since she blew up as a character, for some weird reason, I feel like, and I'm sorry, it has nothing to do with Margot Robbie. I think she's a fantastic actress. I'm not criticizing her performance, but it has just very much in the writing felt like it's been one giant like gimmick.
It's,
Like,
it's
they picked a few things. It's like they watched a YouTube video. It was like 45 seconds, the best clips of Harley Quinn. And they're like, okay, make that a movie. And they were just like, cool, let's do that. Because everybody's Puddin'. Oh, Puddin'. Oh, okay, Puddin'. Oh, Mr. J. Oh, Puddin'. And I'm just like, it was like they literally went through and was like, shit, this Deadpool movie became huge. We need our own version of Deadpool. What if we make Harley Quinn Deadpool? And I was just like,
I'll give you that. Like, you can see the similarities between the two.
And it's also very much like outside of the original episodes of the animated series. Outside of that, Harley Quinn is more just a caricature of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And not actually the character.
But again, it's just the fact of
like even in the Arkham Knight
everybody needs
and like everything.
In Arkham Asylum, though, well, shit, I can't remember. Is she in Arkham Asylum?
Yeah, she's in Asylum.
Because I was gonna say, I remember her being in Asylum, and I was like, oh, she was great. And then when it got to Arkham City, I was like, oh, Harley Quinn's pretty cool in this. And then they did the DLC, Harley Quinn's Revenge, and then that was when it was we're gonna make an entire thing about her. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't think the character can carry this. I know you want the character to be able to carry this, but my thing is, if you're wanting to go with a female lead DC character, there are so many other characters that you could pick that I felt like had a better fleshed out story, as opposed to, okay, it's this girl who's obsessed with this guy that treats her like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, they tried to rectify that with Birds of Prey, where it's, her being emancipated and her going, oh, okay, I'm going to do my own thing. But then I was just like, I don't know. I just didn't like the writing of it. It was an okay film. Ewan McGregor overacted like hell.
I'll give you that.
And I hate it still. The one line in that movie, I did not mean to keep going on a rant about Harley Quinn. The other problem is in the trailer, even, I saw it and was just like, I hate this line. When she's walking through, I think she's in like a store or something, and she's carrying like 8 things. And she walks up to these 3 guys that are pointing guns at her, and she just goes, who are you guys? I was like, Jesus, her acting is bad. And I was like, and I know that's not Margot Robbie's. She can act. She's fantastic. So it was like, it's just the writing is bad. I don't know. I'm going to end my rant there. I'm not going to end my rant there. One more thing about DC while we're on the topic. I'm starting to do a 180 on DC comic books. So I recently restarted reading Batman New 52. Everything with the Batman video game being announced, or not, it's not even Batman because he literally dies before the game starts. But the new Gotham Knights is about the Court of Owls, and I was like, "Fuck, I want to go back and reread the Court of Owls." And I started reading that, and I was like, "This is good." So I keep reading, and then I was like, "I'm going to try and get caught up now. I want to see what this 3 Jokers thing's all about." Because I was like, I wrote when they announced 3 Jokers. I was like, I'm done. This is the dumbest fucking idea.
Yeah.
However, the new description by the author, for the life of me, I cannot remember his name because I'm not a huge DC. Jeff Johns, John Jeffs, something like that, announced. It is about 3 people who are all claiming to be the Joker. And Batman has to decide if it is 3 imposters or is this 1 Joker and 2 imposters.
Mm-hmm.
So the 3 Jokers are not, throughout all of Gotham's history.
I feel so much better about it.
That's what they do, though. Because again, he didn't say they're not doing that. So my hope is that when he worded that, I was like, that gives me hope. It's also only 3 issues, so I was like, you don't have a whole lot of time to set up 3 whole new characters. So I was like, I'm just hoping that that's what it is. If that's what it is, I am back on board with DC Comics. That was what I wrote off 4 years ago. I used to read Batman, and I stopped reading it because I was just like, I'm done with this. They just keep fucking up, one after another.
By the way, sorry to interrupt real quick.
No, you're good.
I have not been paying any attention to chat. Sorry. So Dakota said, what's up? So what's up, Dakota? Thanks for watching.
What's
and,
up?
I missed you at work.
Joey is also watching. He says, I am great, but his other thing is the whole thing behind Harley Quinn's popularity is because A, she's hot, and B, she's psycho, and that grabs audiences. Which I'll give you that, Margot Robbie is fucking gorgeous, and the
Wall Street
character is
ever made.
has a few screws loose. So yeah, 100%. Like,
Like I get that. Like
but you
So,
can't
yeah.
rely on. Okay, we need a ditzy psycho hot chick to pull an entire franchise. You can't just do that.
That's
It's
the problem that DC's been doing is they find little niches though like that
yeah.
where it's like, and again, the whole thing with Justice League was, oh hey, Avengers, let's do that, and it was just like, let's start on Avengers.
Yeah.
oh,
It was just like, what are you doing? You didn't jump in. Go ahead.
speaking of the Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
I have an opinion on that. I have an opinion on that.
When does that come out?
Yes.
Next year, 2021, exclusive to HBO Max.
Well, I mean, I've got HBO Max.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch
What were you
it.
saying, Mr. J?
No, I just want to hear your opinion on it. Like,
Oh, first of all, that was the best trailer for Watchmen I've ever seen. It was a Watchmen trailer. So the trailer came out, and Patrick Wilson, who played Night Owl in Watchmen, came out and even said, "Well, I know this song." From the trailer for Watchmen. And on top of that, though, my thing is, these are my two opinions of the thing. If the film comes out and sucks, that just proves I don't know why the fuck all you people got all excited about the Snyder Cut, because I'm sorry. In my opinion, one of the greatest directors in Hollywood right now is Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon made the cut of Justice League that we all saw that sucked. He took what he had and he made a film. I don't know the politics behind what happened behind the set, because apparently a lot of people hated him. But all I know is he took it and he went and made a movie. It sucked. So I don't see how you're telling me that the guy that made Batman vs Superman is going to make a better version of that same film. With that also said, if it does come out and it's good, it makes me feel like he spent the last 3 years rewriting the script. He's going to completely change everything about it and say, no, this was my plan all along. This was my cut. And it's like, I feel like you hired like 20 other people to help you make a good movie. Like, I want you to show me where Kevin Feige signed on to that and wrote the goddamn thing for you.
No, here's my thing with Snyder is it really sucks because Snyder
He's great at adapting things.
up to
So good.
which this is supposed to be a fucking adaptation.
It's
But it-
not though. It's not. It's Justice League where it's okay. I'm going to take these characters, but I'm going to make my own story. I'm going to make my own plot. Whereas Watchmen, it was here's the script. Like, you want to see Watchmen? Here's the script for it. He said, "Here's my script. There it is. Let's go make this."
See, well, actually, you know what? That still follows suit because I was like Dawn of the
Dawn of
Dead,
the Dead.
sheer perfection.
Correct. 300.
300, sheer
Guardians of
perfection.
Gahul.
Guardians of Gahul, amazing film.
The one film of his that he did that I liked, but 90% of people started turning on him,
I liked.
was Sucker Punch, which is where it was his first original story. Which again, I liked Sucker Punch, but that is where audiences started to turn on him because he did
Yeah.
Sucker Punch, then he went from that to Man of Steel, which I thought sucked,
I didn't.
and then
like
he
Man-
went into Batman vs Superman, which I thought sucked. Then
Yeah.
Justice League comes out, it sucked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Guardians
he's
of
great at
Gahul is
adapting stuff, but I hate to say it because but we all had to come to terms with D.B. Weiss on Game of Thrones. I think it's the same thing. I think he's really good at adapting, but when it comes to original stuff, he's okay. He's he has a vision. Visually, his films are beautiful. I want to say that. Cinematically, the man makes beautiful films. Even if you look at Man of Steel and Justice League and Batman vs Superman, visually they are beautiful. They're just not very good stories.
I'll also say, Joe, Dakota says he's been missing you at work.
Oh, I've been missing you too, Dakota. Real quick, by the way, I know which Dakota that is because there's only one Dakota. What Joey is watching? There's two Joeys.
Jeff Taylor.
Hey, Jeff Joey, if you're still watching, holy shit, I
Looks
want to
like
talk about. Do what?
I said it looks like he still is. It says we have 3 current viewers.
I got the Battletoad ship on Sea of Thieves, and I want to take it out for a test spin. And then on top of that, we need to talk about Battletoads, but we need to play some Sea of Thieves, Joey. I have been missing the Sea of Thieves.
Joey is always down for sailing the Sea of
I know
Thieves.
he is. I text the guy and he never responds. I've been told the phone is the worst way to get a hold of Joey.
100%. You want to get a hold of him quickly?
Discord. Oh, Discord.
Well, Xbox Live is actually really reliable too. I'll give you that.
But did we have anything else to say on the Snyder Cut before I move? I want to talk about
The only thing that I thought was kind of weird was they're doing it 1 hour increments at first.
What?
And it's gonna be,
Hold the fuck
yeah.
on.
Wait, hold on. So it's gonna be a mini series?
Well, here's what they're doing. It's 4 hours, but they're chopping it up into 4 sections.
Fuck that. I'm out. I'm out.
I thought was the weirdest thing. Like, why would I understand?
You can watch all 4 is one sitting, like one film.
I don't get what this movie is.
No, like the way they explain it is like there's going to be the first hour they're going to release on HBO Max, and
Okay.
then they're going to release the second, the third, and the fourth, and then after they've released all 4, they're going to kind of like have a 4-hour release, but they're first releasing it by hour.
I will watch the 4-hour cut. I am not even wasting my time on watching 4 individual
Guys.
hours of that.
Guys,
No.
hour 1 is HBO Max. Hour 2 is
Like-
2 is CBS All Access. Hour 3 is exclusive to Apple TV. 4 is exclusive to IMAX.
Oh yeah, like they're going to do. I can see them doing that. When I heard that they were like,
hour and it's a microtransaction that's like, to continue, please donate another $15.
oh my god.
Did you like this chapter? We'll save your progress if you buy now.
Oh my god.
They saw that Mulan is subscription plus $30, so now they're going to do like the first half of
You know what's so sad about that?
the second half is going to be a $30 upcharge.
You know what's so sad about that?
Mulan.
That is the dumbest fucking business model I've ever heard. But
Oh,
it
yeah.
has Disney's name on it, so I've been defending it because I'm like, it's Disney. I'll give them $30. I will officially do anything for that mouse.
Here is the only argument I can see for it, and
Buy a
it's,
mouse.
it's so $30. Well, if you take a family of 4 to go see a
Correct.
movie at $15 a person, you're getting off real fucking cheap for $30.
My only thing is, why is it a part of Disney Plus? For $30, just give it to me on iTunes or something. You know, it's weird that I have to pay for Disney Plus and then buy the movie, and then I
Yeah.
can keep the movie as long as I'm still subscribed. So if I unsubscribe from Disney Plus, even
Yeah.
though I paid $30 for the movie, I can't watch it.
Right. See, I think that allowing it through Disney Plus, whatever. But I think that they should then make it so that way, like stuff like that you purchase in the app, you have a
Like a
free
movie's
membership.
anywhere. Yeah,
Basically, but do it like a free membership where it's like, okay, I
you can
bought
only
this.
watch this now.
Right.
Yeah. Which I would be fine with. If that was the case, I would be fine. Which all of this is also based on the fact of, though, understanding I am never going to not have a Disney Plus subscription. Like,
Well,
I will take
and
this to my
I-
grave for the next 80 years. I will have.
I was gonna say,
my kid.
I've prepaid for the first 3 years of Disney Plus. So at
Correct.
the very least, I have 3 years of Disney Plus. So yeah.
I
By the way,
just-
it says let's sale.
Hell yeah.
Giant capital letters. So
All I know though is I went back and I started watching a show the other day that is so fucking good on Disney Plus. I forgot how much I loved the Gummy Bears.
gummy bear
That show is so goddamn good.
everywhere.
It was fantastic.
It is an amazing series.
I forgot Jim Cummings was in it. That has got to
Oh,
be
yeah.
his earliest work.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean,
Uh,
that was 85, 86.
I think he was doing Pooh before that.
All right, guys, I gotta get going.
Wayne,
Okay.
it has been a pleasure, my friend.
See you guys Friday.
See you
Bye.
Friday night, Wayne.
We'll say
Bye-bye.
hi to Ren when we see her on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up Jim Cummings real quick.
Samesies.
But no, because the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh had not started yet at that point, and I don't think he did any of the films because Jim Cummings is not the original Pooh Bear.
I was not aware of that.
Well, I mean, the original Pooh Bear was 1960. I mean, he was like 20. He wasn't working yet.
Oh, I guess that was 60. I
Yeah,
thought it was like late 70s.
His first thing was in 85. He was in Castle in the Sky for the Disney dub. I did not know that. No, he's in 6 episodes of DuckTales.
Woo!
And then
He's in
Oh,
one
he should be
episode
a
of
Rescue Rangers.
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Pup Named Scooby Doo, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Adventures of the Gummy Bears in 1985. Yeah, that was his first thing. That predates anything else he did.
Adventures of the Gummy.
It's up higher because it's the end date, not the
Oh, because
start
it
date.
ends. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Ended in what did it say? Yeah, New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh didn't take over until '88, so that was 3 years after Gummy Bears. So Gummy Bears was his first, not only his first Disney project, it looks like his first project at all.
Wow.
Because his only other project that he did was a short film, and that was also in '88 or
He-
'85. So
In '69, he did 17 episodes of Wacky Races doing Dick Dastardly.
he was Dick Dastardly.
Yeah.
What?
That's awesome.
Wait, what does that mean though?
What?
He wasn't. What the hell? It says he was in the episodes, but the episodes are not in English. The titles are not, and then it says released January 11th, 1969, BR.
I don't know. As him is Dick Dastardly in
Yeah, I
1969.
know. Click on the exclamation mark to the left of it or to the right of it, and then it shows something weird. I wonder if he did a voice like he redubbed it.
I don't know.
I am doing research on that.
Anyway, I will say we're talking about a television series. Oh yeah, no. Joe was saying that he misses you too. Dakota was saying, "Wait, did somebody say my name a second ago? Sorry, I'm at work still."
Sorry, I'm getting baby pictures. Hold on. How the hell is she up and walking around? Jesus.
Who? Kaylee?
Yeah.
Magic. No. What was I saying? TV shows. Holy shit! I'm incredibly late to the game just because of how long ago the second season came out. But I finally am just now watching the second season of Sex Education.
I've never watched any of that show at all.
That show
So
is
funny.
so fucking good. Like it is a comedy.
Big Mouth for adult, like
No.
people?
Like this is high school. Like this is a high school drama series. So like it is definitely drama. Like there's a lot of
I thought
funny
it was all funny.
parts. No, there's a lot of funny parts, but it's like cringe-worthy drama to some extent, and it's so fucking good though. And like I cannot get enough of it. I'm 4 episodes into season 2 right now, and it's such a good show. The writing's great, the acting's great. Yeah, no, you need to watch it. I cannot recommend that show enough.
Sorry, hold on one second.
You're good. Joey's watching Supergirl and loving it, apparently.
I have heard really good things about Supergirl. Actually, I've never watched any. I have not watched any of the CW shows, with the exception of I watched the pilot for Arrow. I don't know why I didn't watch any more, but I thought the pilot was really good. Hey Nick, pour some of that, hold on, pour some of that in here real quick.
This is mystery whiskey. All I know is the bottle's
Reserved.
reserved.
Pour some in my glass, dude.
Oh, that's a barrel strength or something. My God, that's got to be over 100 proof.
Oh no!
Wow.
Please. I want to talk about Battletoads for just a minute. I know I've been talking like this whole night, but I've not seen anybody in 2 goddamn weeks, so deal with it. Battletoads is so fucking good, dude. It is single-handedly. I'm gonna raise my chair real quick because I didn't even realize I could. I thought it was all the way up.
There we go.
What?
So look behind you.
Uh-huh.
Royal Tutor.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Your
like
name?
all I
Royal
saw was
Tutor.
like the bottom half of Royal, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah,
And so I was,
Royal Tutor, Your Name and Weathering with You.
your name and with you.
I bought both of them over the weekend on iTunes.
Nice. You didn't
No,
already
I
have.
already owned. Sorry, I already owned Your Name. I looked at that. I
I was
forgot.
gonna say
I
you didn't.
almost bought it because it popped up saying I didn't own it. It was saying I didn't own the sub. I forgot about that
Oh,
because I bought the dome. No, Battletoads, so fantastic. It took me about 4.5 hours to play the entire game, so it is not very long. Holy fucking shit. It is so hard that if you die more than, I think it's like 10 times on a level, there's a button that just grants you immunity till the next checkpoint.
wow.
I had to use that 5 times.
Jesus Christ.
Mainly on the space battles. This is a game. It's so great because it's got like old style, like arcade machine, like Simpsons arcade style
It's a
fighting.
brawler.
Correct. But then it changed. Oh my god! I just see a cat. That's adorable. That changes, and then it'll have like missions where it's all platforming. So like a 3D or a 2D side-scrolling platformer, like a Mario Brothers kind of a thing, or Ukulele and the Impossible Layer, that style.
Yeah.
And then it will jump to, okay, well now we're doing space battles. So it's a. Did you ever play Beat Hazard?
Yeah.
It's a lot like Beat Hazard, where it's a twin stick, shooter.
Twin stick shooter,
You just got
yeah.
ships coming at you left and right.
Rail shooter.
Correct. That one's impossible because when it sends out bosses, there'll be a point where, okay, there's 4 bosses on each corner, and then they shoot at you, but the way that they shoot at you, you physically can't dodge it. There's no way to dodge it. The entire screen is just bullets. You are going to get hit. So it's like,
It's going to be really funny when it turns out that there's one like, oh, do this button combination.
I'm
and
sure.
it gives you a like a half a second immunity, and that's how you're
I'm
supposed to dodge it.
sure. And I had found that it was really spotty when it worked, but there is a dash. So like you can go like over to here.
Yeah.
And it seems to sometimes grant immunity jumping through bullets, but then
Yeah.
other times it doesn't. So it was really, I was like, I don't know how to tell when it works.
Yeah.
But then it'll jump from that to be, oh, okay, here's like a, I'm trying to think of an example from another video game where it'd be like, okay, you're at the top and you have to keep going. You're essentially going down and you're doing like different platforming and puzzles, but there's also like essentially lava coming behind you. So like you have to beat the lava going down, and if you get stuck, like the lava hits you and you're dead. Like there's kind of there's like 8 different game types in this game, and it's fantastic. One of them is just a
First person shooter.
no rock paper scissors Rochambeau.
Yes.
It literally is you just throw.
Older parts of shears.
You win, you lose. There's one model where it's okay, you're going to be fighting a bunch of people, but it's literally just button mashing. So people are coming at you and you just hit X, and then it'll be like, okay, you got to push A to jump or down to duck, and then keep fighting, and then down to duck, and keep fighting A to jump. It's got like so many different game models. Like it doesn't get old at all, and it keeps you interested. And the characters are fucking funny, and I want them to make a new TV series out of this.
Nice. Oh shit. Speaking of
Hold
speaking
on,
of
real
TV
quick.
series based off of video games, did anybody see that trailer for Dragon's Dogma anime that is coming to Netflix?
I know it's coming. I have not seen it.
Oh my god, it looks fucking amazing. And I loved Dragon's Dogma. That was a game that I kind of was gonna let pass by my radar until Drake was like, "You have to play this game."
Yeah, I saw it.
And so I started playing it, and I had a blast. And then I got the re-release when it just came out on Switch, and I just started playing that not too long ago. But last week they announced and dropped a trailer that they're doing a Dragon's Dogma anime.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
coming
that they had dropped one. I just haven't watched it yet.
It's coming out September 27th, I think.
Real quick though, when you started talking, CJ was trying to say something.
Well, Joe, I really want to get to Dragon's Dogma, but Joe, you're talking about Battletoads and how
Yes.
hard it was. The original Battletoads.
Oh shit!
This shit hard as fuck.
So here's the thing though, and that was what I was starting to talk about before we went live, and Nick hit the wrong button, and we just went live.
My bad.
So apparently the reason for that game being so hard, I have not played a whole lot of it, but one of the reasons why that game is so hard is apparently because I want you to think them talking about how they made it. There's an issue with the controls where at some times the controls just don't respond. So then it'll result in you dying, and it's like, well, what the fuck? And I was like, so this game that is known for being notoriously hard is just buggy.
So that's the big thing about Battletoads. Like the hard aspect of it isn't like the difficulty of the levels or the bosses. It's just the control mechanic.
Yeah.
And if you want to ramp it up to 100, play 2 players because like it's just stupid hard.
I've got it on the original Battletoads. I have it on Xbox One via the Rare Replay, and I have not physically played it, even though I have the achievement that says I played it, because I did not realize an easy way to spam achievement points if you're ever bored and trying to get achievement points up. Little known thing, little fun fact, I was trying to hit 50,000 gamer points before the Series X launched, and about 2 to 3 months ago, I was about 20,000 away. So I've dedicated the last 2 months to getting that 20,000 points, and I've managed to do it. I crossed 50,000 when playing Battletoads. But one of the ways I did it was on the Rare Replay. There's 30 games, and all 30 games, if you start them, you click A to start, you get a 25 gamer point achievement just for having played it. So you don't even have to go into the game. Just hit, hey, I want to play that game, and then back out. I want to play that game. Back out. I want to play that game. I literally got 30 times 25. What is that? Real quick. I'm going to do the math on that. I'm not smart. Jeff Joey, you're smart at math, aren't you? You count stuff.
But
750 gamer points just for that.
nice.
That's hilarious.
Still not as easy to get as Avatar as 1,000.
Nick, I gotta ask because this is the first time I've ever heard of the Dragon's Dogma. Is it pretty much follow? Because you said it was Netflix. Is it following the Castlevania craze? Like, because it's a video game.
As in the like the animation style and stuff.
Well, no, just because Castlevania was a video game, they turned it into like an animated series.
Yeah.
Are they kind of like? Is that kind of what they're doing? Because like I'm all over watching.
It's the same studio that does Castlevania.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Right. Which that's another thing is when I heard Castlevania was being turned into an anime, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, but holy fucking shit, do they do it
You know
right?
what pisses me off about Castlevania?
You haven't seen it?
I watched 2 episodes, and then I don't know what happened, but here I am 3 years later. I haven't seen the end of it, and it was goddamn good.
Oh yeah.
You never even finished season 1?
No, I don't know why. I don't even remember what.
It's
came
not
up.
even that long.
It's like
No,
4
it's
episodes.
not.
Yeah, no, it literally was just something that I don't remember came up, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch this later," and I just never did.
So fucking good.
Yeah, it's fantastic what I've seen of it. I've started watching The Orville, which is, I hate to say, the best Star Trek series that Star Trek never made.
That Star Trek never made, I'll give you. Best Star Trek series. I'm
Lower Decks.
sorry. Lower Decks is so fucking good.
CJ, have you watched Lower Decks?
Yes, and okay,
It is
so
goddamn good.
on this, I'm gonna give my opinion because I'm a
Oh, I hope it's good. I'm worried.
I'm a big next gen fan, and then with God, I can't even fucking remember the one that just recently came out. What the fuck it's called?
Oh, Discovery or Picard?
Yeah, like I was sorely disappointed with Discovery, and then they talked about
Discovery,
Lower Decks, and I was just like, God, they're really just to me. Just seeing the presentation of it, like really, they're scraping the bottom of the fucking barrel on this. Like they're really
Opposite.
they're really like, but that was just that was the first impression. I'm like, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to make an animated series about Star Trek. Oh my fucking god! I started watching that shit. I was like, this is fucking good because like,
Yeah.
they do things that like you kind of have questions in the back of your head about, but like,
Yeah, that they never really bring to light, and you're just like, whatever, we'll never find out about that. And this is the series where we find out about all that.
yeah.
My thing with the show though is, so for me, a little bit of background on me. I basically only watch animated series. I don't watch live action stuff because I don't know if it's my ADD or what. I just get bored with live action. The Orville is seriously one of the very few shows that have kept my interest. I've watched like 10 episodes. I'd seen the show already, but I'm rewatching it because it's been about 2 years since I watched the first season, so I'm rewatching it, and it's so fucking good. But anything else, I just lose interest in. For instance, I started watching Next Gen. I watched the first episode of Next Gen about 4 days ago. I hate to say, I was just like, I don't know what the big deal is. I can't stand Q.
So,
He's a cunt.
so the thing about Next Gen, the first season I enjoy because you have to have it to set up
It's
everything
like Parks and Rec.
With that being said, I wouldn't say it's like Parks and Rec, because Parks and Rec, Aziz Ansari even says skip season 1.
Correct.
Start
But
at
I'm
season
just
2.
saying is it's
Star
show
Trek,
where, like, season
I
two
would
is where
still
the-
say next gen start at season 1.
yeah,
Watch
but
through.
it's season 2
But
is
it
where
gets
really kicks
far
off.
better the show as the show progresses.
Yes.
Okay, because my thing is Voyager. I started watching in like episode 1. I was in.
Oh no, 100%,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Because
And again-
Voyager, I was just like, this is the best goddamn show I've ever seen. My only thing is, I wish it would be. The reason why I love Orville so much, and I since both of you guys at least seem to be CJ big Star Trek fans. I know Nick, you are.
I've seen Star Trek
And-
Orville, so.
Joey's chiming in. He was like, "Oh, Picard though," because
So
yes, Picard was fucking amazing.
one quick thing on Next Gen. The beginning of it is really slow because they were trying to find, like, they were trying to build everything. Like Nick said, like, you watch the first season for more of the characters, but then the rest, like season 2 and beyond, is where you really get into like the good storylines. And
Meat of everything.
yes,
Gotcha.
like, if the
Season
reason
1, your appetizer. Don't
So I just
yeah.
need to stick with it.
I will agree there are some episodes that are just like, God, these are really just not like interesting episodes. But if you look at it like understanding and learning about the characters, if you look at it from that perspective, once you hit season 2, you will have such a much greater respect for the characters and the journey they go on throughout the season.
And again, maybe it's because I'm just in the pilot, but like I didn't think the pilot even had good character development. It's just like, okay, here's all these characters, go.
Yeah, I
Like,
will.
there was no, like,
It
sense,
literally
like,
just
in-
drops you in.
And again, I'm not trying to compare it, and I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just comparing it with the only other thing that I've seen in Voyager. Voyager starts off, and it's like, okay, this is Tom Paris, and this is who Tom Paris is, and then they're going to introduce him and show him. Oh, and then Janeway comes in, and okay, Janeway talks a bit, and you learn about Tom's dad, and then we'll bring you in, and then okay, we're going to go to B'Elanna Torres, and she'll talk for a little bit, and we're going to go, and it goes through all of these people, and then brings them together and says, okay, this is why they are in this situation. This is what their goal is. Whereas Next Gen, I was just like, I don't know who the fuck any of these people are.
But I think it's also one of
Go.
those where Star Trek was a series that was very beloved by fans and everything
Correct.
like that. Which again, Star Trek itself starts off a little iffy.
Well, again, it was the 60s. It was
Right,
storytelling has changed since then and evolved.
And so now that it's
so-
like 20 years later, we're gonna do this series. So then they did Next Gen. By the end of Next Gen, they were really
Correct.
into doing everything. So then when
That's
they
what
did
Voyager.
Voyager and they did Deep Space Nine and stuff like that,
Deep Space Nine, I was told is really shit.
Deep Space Nine is a completely different style.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be soap
kind of
opera in space. I was told don't even bother. Is it? I think maybe it's not. Maybe it's Enterprise.
No. That one's basically like a so like that's another thing with Star Trek is a lot of it. Part of the beauty of it is you don't necessarily have to watch everything in order to
Correct.
understand
Again,
what's going on.
That was done because of the original series, and that's something that was beautiful.
Right.
But back in the day, you didn't have DVR. You didn't have
Right.
ways to tape stuff. So like
Right.
if you missed an episode, you needed to be able to keep your fans engaged and let them drop in and keep going.
That all changed with DS9. At DS9 is where every single episode you had to have seen the episode.
I feel like
before.
Voyager, you really need to.
Not really. I mean, to a slight extent,
There's
like
a lot of stuff that carries over.
there's a fair amount of stuff that carries over, but it's like it's like, oh, over the course of this season, okay, now you have this storyline of okay, Tom and B'Elanna are now dating and falling in love and that kind of stuff. But with that being said, each of the individual, oh, hey, Sally. With that being said, like the individual episodes, you can technically watch out of order because each episode is its own secular story. There's just some stuff from that comes back around.
Why was she so excited to see you? She just like ran to you.
Oh no. She probably thought I dropped something because she went right below my legs and started sniffing the ground and looking for food.
She's just like, yeah, I'm done.
What's Alex?
No, but the thing I was going to comment though about the Orville, just having recently, been watching it, just the beauty of it is what I love about that show is the original
Mockingjay?
Star Trek
Mockingbird?
series. Well, no, Star Trek when it originally showed, it dealt with current issues One of
Yeah.
the things was, I mean, Star Trek is the first known interracial or first ever interracial kiss on television. It broke that boundary and said, you know, this is the norm. This is what should be the norm. And at the time, people were like, oh, you know, that's controversial. And then now we look at it and go, wow, you know, that pioneered to change things. You know, you had a African American lead character that everyone loved and was just, she was beloved by everyone. And, you know, at a time that really wasn't much of a thing.
Mhm.
And I thought that was so incredible if they pushed those boundaries and helped, you know, pave the way for future stuff. And then, no, and nothing against it. I've not seen it all at all, but with like Next Gen and stuff like that, it seems like that kind of died off where like they went for very important storylines, but I don't see social issues being brought up.
There's actually one episode. Actually, Adrian kind of took a break from Next Gen just because of how like I don't want to say how do I say this? Not womanizing. Basically, like they overly sexualized a lot of stuff, and then it got to the point where they were trying to like talk about like issues and stuff like that. And like in season 1, there's an entire episode that revolves around sexual assault, and I believe it's season 2. There's an actual like rape that happens and investigating, like, so it really dives deep into like
dark. What
right,
the
that's
fuck?
what I'm saying. But then, but it's kind of also one of those where like they were trying to bring to light issues, but it may not have been like
May not have been as
it may not have been
blatant, like
interracial couples kissing on TV,
but
but like
they were trying to do.
because that was like what was like in the 80s, like sex became stigma along because of the whole AIDS issue, and so like a lot of stuff like that was ended up being brought in to kind of be like that.
Which, I mean, I guess that again, having not seen it, that makes more sense than, and I appreciate that better than. Specifically, though, the points I was going to state about the Orville, though, was just the fact you've got a gay first officer with Bortus,
Yeah,
or second officer, excuse me. First officer is Kelly.
yeah, that's why I
but
was
you've
like,
got-
Kelly's bi, but she's not a lesbian.
But then you've got issues of, you know, you've got. I'm trying to fit. Sorry, now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of any. But the episode about like an entire justice system where it's based off of votes. where
Oh
people,
yeah.
people
Oh, yeah,
decide.
which is basically a Black Mirror
Yeah,
episode.
but I was just like that. It's brilliant because that's what stuff is nowadays. Is so much stuff is
And-
oh, this person did this thing online. I hate them. Let's drag them through the mud. Then everyone in society casts them out. And I was like, that's kind of happening now. Like that
Right.
is a thing. Where
Uh,
I should say some people deserve it. Like the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. Fuck that piece of shit. Drag him through the fucking mud. But there's other people where it was like, oh, this person like cut me in line at Starbucks. Fuck this person. And then you got people being like, oh, I want to fucking kill it. It's like, what are we doing now? Like when
Yeah.
Laura Bailey was receiving death threats over a video game of a character she played in a game. And it was like, what is happening now? That's, you know, just but online presence, people, it's a mob justice.
and then I will say, I'm just double checking, Joe. You did finish all of season 1 of Orville, right?
I have seen all of Orville, season 1 and 2.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so just a heads up, spoiler alert for anybody watching that has not seen Orville. This is a season 1 spoiler, but like, even the
Not seen
fact,
it, I recommend it so highly.
oh, 100%.
it is
It's
so
all-
much more
all
than Family Guy in space. It's what I called it at first because even I was just like, oh, it's Family Guy in space. Okay, it is so much
the
more. Than that.
pilot, maybe. The rest of the show, I would not even consider Family
That's
Guy in
what,
Space.
yeah.
I'll give you that.
It's-
It's
it's
so
Star
much
Trek with
more
a little bit of humor.
sophisticated than it sounds. But I'm
Um,
sorry. Go ahead and say your point.
but
though,
no,
and I
like
go-
like even the whole bringing up the transgender issue with Bortus'
yes,
child.
that was the other thing I was
Like-
going to say.
Holy shit,
Dude.
those episodes with Bortus and his husband and their baby, I just,
I
that show is so well done.
There
I
was
just
no reason. I don't care if people make fun of me all you want. There's no reason why this show makes me cry on like every other episode.
Yeah.
Because when they bring that
And you will go
back,
from laughing your ass off to something to like crying because you're laughing so hard to crying because like stuff like it's dramatic is happening.
when they, and again, this is some spoilers for season 2. The show's been over for over a year now, so spoilers. I apologize. I will keep it as small as I can. But in the second season, they bring in they find a village of refugee women from what is their race? Horus's race.
Mocklin?
Mocklin. So it's female Mocklins that are all in exile that they escaped to escape persecution. And then they go through and they're trying to become their own colony. And, the Orville crew is like, we're going to help you guys become a colony. And then that will protect you in the Union. And then the Union gets to the point of, okay, well, Mocklus is now talking about leaving the Union. They make all of our weapons. We can't leave the Union, or we can't let them leave the Union, but we also can't, leave these women. What do we do? And it's this heartbreaking decision of we have to do something. Okay, well, we'll make the exception. They're not going to be a colony, but Mocklus is going to leave them alone. And it's this heartbreaking moment at the end where that, I cannot remember her name, but the one female Mocklus who was in that episode in the first season with Topa, and she literally comes out and she says, not every revolution is started overnight, but we started the fire. And we started this. We're going, future generations can now, take up from where we left off. And it just makes you cry at the fact of, I was just like, it's so well explains today where it's like, everyone tries to talk about, oh, well, everyone's equal and, everyone in the earth is equal and, we all treat each other that way, but we don't. Like, it's not equal. Like, there's just so many injustices in the world that don't get talked about that I thought that was a beautiful way to bring it up and say, look, maybe we, stuff hasn't hit this point yet, but, at least people have started and, revolution is brewing. And I just thought that was a beautiful way to do it.
So, I always thought that the Orville was a more modern version of Next Gen, because Next Gen, we talked about, they kind of talked about those issues. Like, one of my favorite episodes is I'm gonna butcher it, The Make of a Man, where they're trying to there was a scientist trying to claim data to make more androids. One of the most powerful episodes because it really pushes the boundary of like what really makes data. And then watching Orville and this, like, again, the same episode you were talking about, it reminds me of Next Gen and really wanting to push that issue, really wanting to make the viewer kind of sit there and think, well, I know this is a sci-fi setting, but this kind of stuff really goes on in our life. And I credit, oh God, I forget his name, the guy who made it.
Gene Roddenberry or Seth MacFarlane?
Seth MacFarlane for really to making that point, because like when I first heard about the Orville, I really thought it was just going to be Family Guy in space.
Yeah,
I was blown away by the fact that he was pushing issues and talking about problems and
it made me really
injustice about things, and I was really blown away because I thought, oh shit, this is Next Gen but more current issues.
Mm-hmm.
So
I thought was so incredible, and I will take back what I said about Next Gen. Then again, it's maybe because I just haven't seen enough of it to know that that they do push issues on that. Then, so I retract my previous statement on that.
Oh, dude, there's a few episodes that it's really like Picard gives some really just heart-wrenching speeches. There's some issues that really really come to light. And then weirdly enough, when Whoopi Goldberg, she becomes a part of the cast.
Yeah, I didn't know.
There's another episode that she's in that really just strikes a chord. That really just, because Next Gen is future where there's no racism. There's just like all this stuff that we're going through now doesn't exist. And then there's an episode where race is put into question, and she reminisce about like, yeah, we don't face racism anymore because we pretty much figured that problem out. But this is something that my ancestors way back when had to deal with. And for the time when Next Gen came out, racism has always been an issue, but like for that time, that was a really big like statement to be said on the show. So to have a newer show kind of still bring that kind of that awareness of the social injustices and issues that we're going through right now, I think that's really good for the generation now coming into sci-fi stuff, because now they have something that like I grew up on Next Gen, but like my dad, my grandfather, like they all got these issues from Next Gen. So this newer generation kind of gets it from Orville with a little humor sprinkled there because it's Seth MacFarlane. You gotta have a good joke in there, but he really pushes like those issues that make you think.
I feel like a lot of those jokes too are brought in not only just to try and get you in, because like I said, I was like, oh, sci-fi comedy series. I was immediately thinking of like I said, Family Guy in Space, but like Galaxy Quest. I was like, oh, this is going to be a funny show. And then you're watching it and you're going, wow, not only am I learning something, like I'm feeling something for these people. Yeah. And, you know, it just hits you where it's like, oh, okay, we use this to draw you in for comedy. But now that you're here, here's all of this. Mm-hmm. And then I also feel like it uses a lot of comedy to go through and kind of lighten the mood at points, because there's a point where if you go so dark, and this is something, again, going back to DC Comics, if you go so dark for so long, it eventually is so morbid you just can't watch it or read it or do it anymore.
Or like, you just at that point
too dark.
The emotion.
Or that too.
You get dull to it, like it numbs you.
Yeah.
Where it just, when something emotional truly does happen, it doesn't. You don't get that emotion because you've already been in that mode for so long, and it just. That's, again, like I said, I do agree. DC really has that mentality where like, oh, we're gonna be in this zone this whole time. Not to get off the topic, but like, that's a good point. Like Orville has those moments where it's kind of dark, gritty, but then they kind of have that lighthearted chuckle to kind of bring you back and like bring you back to your senses and be like, okay. But then they kind of come back and they stay on that, like, you know what I mean.
The other thing I'm really worried about with the Orville, though, is I was reading an article the other day. So it has been renewed for season 3. It's supposed to be starting sometime before the end of the year on Hulu now, not on Fox anymore. Which I'm worried that obviously the fans are going to follow it over to Hulu, but I'm worried that by moving it to Hulu, less people are going to see it. My concern is they have not been renewed for season 4. And apparently, so far, the article I read, season 4 was never on the table, because they were supposed to have been canceled completely, and Hulu said, well, we'll pick it up for another season. I really hope this isn't the last season of this show. Like, I love these characters.
Yeah.
I really don't want this to be the final season.
From what I saw, they're making this season, and then based on the reception of this season dictates where it goes from there.
I'm gonna just have to tell everybody I know to watch it, because
well, and it's also one of those where
incredible.
The other thing is they were getting in trouble for doing stuff like they were doing with
which
like,
again is bullshit, because I'm like, these are issues that need to be talked about, and hiding it away on which I appreciate Hulu stepping up and saying we don't care, put this on our network. But I hate the fact that by taking it off of main television on Fox and putting it on a premium service, I feel like people aren't going to see that as much now.
But with that being said, their issue was they wanted to put a mature rating on it, which putting a mature rating on a television series on like late night Fox can't air that.
Yeah,
but I mean, they've done it before. They look at some of the shit they do on other shows
that somehow squeaked by with the TV 14.
Yeah.
And so
24 wasn't it? 24 was TVMA, wasn't it?
That was FX.
Yeah.
Was it?
No. Sorry. 24 was on Fox. That was TV 14.
Yeah, it is TV 14.
The other show, I think you're thinking of Shield, The Shield.
Oh yeah, The Shield.
That was FX.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, but no. So by putting it on Hulu, they're allowed to get away with more stuff, which even MacFarlane said, we're not using this for caca poo poo pee poo.
Correct. And I appreciate that.
Right. He's like, don't get me wrong. He was like, don't get me wrong. Will there possibly be an F-bomb dropped?
Maybe. Yeah, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be Family Guy Peter falling down the stairs. Fuck, shit, fuck, cock, fuck, fuck,
exactly.
fuck. Yeah, no.
So
This isn't Million Ways to Die in the West in space. This is going to be.
Even though that movie has one of my favorite lines of a film ever, and it is literally towards the end of the movie when he's just had a horrible time, he looks like shit, and what's his face knocks on the door and he opens the door and he goes, "Hey man, how you doing?" And the guy looks at him and goes, "Wow, you look like shit." And he goes, "Ah, there's the confidence boost I needed today."
Yeah.
That is just the greatest thing. I use that on people at work all the time. 'Cause
I
people
was-
would walk up and be like, "Oh, you look like shit," and I'm just like, "Ah, there's that confidence boost I needed."
I literally I was laying in bed the other night and me and Adrian were just laying there just like, man,
Good
I
movie, but it's a
I
shitty
was-
movie.
I was just like, you know what sounds really good? She goes, what? And I just turned on Million Ways to Die in the West. And like next thing I know, we're laying in bed for like 45 minutes. And she's like, I have to be awake in 6 hours. I was like, then go the fuck to sleep. And she's like, but you're watching a good movie.
I just love when the dad farts off camera and he goes, "Ow, that came out of my penis."
Yeah.
oh yeah.
What's wrong, Dad? You getting those fart needles again? Anyway, sorry to jump
We got
off.
way off topic on
But
talking about the importance of the Orville and going to taking fart jokes. But it's Seth MacFarlane. I mean, it's easy to do.
But the reason, what I heard, the reason why they were only greenlit for one season is because they're going to Hulu. They're wanting to do what they couldn't do on Fox, but the stipulation was they don't know how the audience is going to react, so they didn't want to. They, if I remember, the article I read, Hulu wanted to do they wanted to green light for the fourth season, but when Seth MacFarlane said, "Hey, we're coming in here, we want to do more controversy," because they noticed that when they did it on the Fox program, that a lot of people tuned in, but they
Glad for
couldn't
that.
do it to what they wanted to because it kind of got toned down a bit because of Fox. So they made an agreement, and Hulu's like, "Okay, we're going to greenlight a third season. We're going to let you do what you want to do, but if it doesn't pull in the results that you say it's going to do, we're not going to do a fourth season," which I completely understand.
I totally get it too, yeah, and I do understand their skepticism too, because I mean, again, they're putting a lot of money on the line for this.
Oh yeah.
But the other thing is, and again, I will say, because it's not like an absolute nail in the coffin for them, but I mean, this is how Hulu does their shows. I mean, I don't know any series, with the exception of so Simpsons gets it. At the time, I know Nick, you're not a fan because of me, but BoJack Horseman got it. Where there are some shows that after streaming for a few years or airing for a few years, they were told, okay, we're just going to give you 3 seasons because we've seen your quality, we know what you are, we've seen the results, we'll give you 3 seasons. They don't give a show, okay, we're bringing you to our network for the first time, here's 4 seasons. They can't promise that just because so most shows on Hulu only get 1 season at a time anyway, and are kept on. We'll do one more. Oh, it did well. Okay, we'll do one more, and then they keep going and do it. So I mean, it's not a
That's
nail
why
in
it
the
was so
coffin.
rare when The Witcher got renewed for
Or-
season 2 before season 1 even aired.
Or Big Mouth. Big Mouth season 1 aired, and they literally greenlit it until season 6.
Yeah.
Big Mouth is already getting 6 seasons because of season 1, which again, great show, but it's a rarity. That doesn't happen. So I mean, and the other thing, going back also with, I forgot the whole thing that got us on this topic was talking about Lower Decks. The thing that I loved with Lower Decks was the fact of, again, for me as somebody that I only watch pretty much animated programs, when they literally were like, "Hey, we're doing a Star Trek series, but it's going to be an animated show," I was like, "Oh, I fucking I try to watch Star Trek, but I tend to sometimes get bored easily, or my mind not bored, but I'll start doing other things, or I'll be on my phone and then I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember what's happening." And I was like, awesome, so I can watch this Star Trek show. And then they were like, "Oh, it's from the guy who wrote Solar Opposites, who Solar Opposites was co-written by Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty." And I was like, "Oh, so it's Star Trek with Rick and Morty humor, basically." I'm on board, and yeah, it's been fantastic. I love when that officer, I don't remember his name. I haven't learned names yet on this show, but he puts his hands together to fight on the newest episode. He's hitting the guy like this, and he's just like, "Kirk, Spock, Kirk, Spock, Kirk, Spock."
By the way,
funniest fucking thing.
do you know who voice acts for him?
Yes, I do. It is fucking shit, Jerry O'Connell.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I
It's
love
so
you.
fucking great.
But what am I so afraid
Well,
of?
and then
That's the only thing I know Jerry O'Connell from. Do you realize that?
are you
He's
kidding?
done so many things. I mean, Stand By Me.
Yeah,
I never saw Stand By Me.
I love. Hold on. I just want to
Ooh.
point this out. Joe, say something because now it's showing you. Because
This is me talking,
yeah,
putting me
Out
on
of-
camera.
out of your Twilight cup with your Robert
Yeah,
Pattinson on the front.
I pointed that out earlier. I showed that because CJ mentioned Twilight, and I held up my cup. Tina got this from AMC, and
Yeah.
it's the largest cup we had, and I wanted the most amount of tea I could get in one cup. So
Hey, you know.
There you go. But no,
oh fuck,
Jerry
Small-
O'Connell, Kangaroo Jack.
oh, because that's a goddamn memorable movie. I forgot. I was gonna say we were talking with us on the Orville again. Small spoilers, does not affect the plot in any way, but a special guest that I did not know was coming back for the last episode. They brought back Alara Katan for the last episode.
Oh yeah.
I was so happy she was back. I was like, fuck. And then she's in it for like 30 seconds. She's like, hey guys, I gotta go fight this battle. And then just runs off. And then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, she never came back.
Yeah.
They still have not said why she quit.
No, she quit because she quit to do another show. Like she was acting on another show.
That's the thing, though, is that's never been confirmed because I read the actual press release. I just went back and rewatched it, or reread it, and her exact statement was, "Me leaving is just what's best for the show." And then when the producers were asked why is she leaving, they said, "Well, it's just what's best for the show." Nobody really said. There were rumors going around that she was sleeping with Seth MacFarlane and that they had broken up and that was just awkward on set. Now, again, I was like, I don't know if that's a rumor or not. But everything I had seen, they were like, there's no 100% reason of this is why she left. And I was like, she was such a great character. I just watched the episode earlier, right before doing this, where there's a fire on the engineering deck, engineering bridge. And she goes in to help this crewman, and she gets scared of the fire, and the crewman dies because of it. And then she spends the rest of the show dealing with the trauma of why was I afraid of this fire, and why was I not, I'm not good enough for this job, and I shouldn't be here. And she puts herself in a simulation. It's such a great episode of her dealing with these mental issues of, why am I not good enough, and realizing, no, I am good enough. I'm just, I was doubting myself. And it was so incredible. And I was like, and then they just write the character out. And I hated that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I also
Even though I do like the new girl, I can't remember her name either right now for the life of me, but because having rewatched the first season, the only name in my head's Alara. But
I also love the fact of little random Easter eggs and stuff. They have the doctor as her dad.
I know. I was so happy to see that.
Yeah.
Robert Picardo? Was it?
Yeah.
Richard Picardo?
Robert Picardo.
Robert Picardo. And then I don't remember the actor's name, but the actor that plays Tuvok was a science officer on one of the episodes.
Yeah, Tim Russ.
Yeah, he.
Well,
they find an old time capsule that they open.
Yep.
He's the
And then
scientist investigating that.
I also love that they brought in a lot of the talent from Next Gen and Voyager with writing and directing and
Yeah,
producing.
on the behind the scenes stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
because like oh my God, what is his name?
Will Wheaton.
No. Oh my God, I am shit with names right now.
I am too. Even though I pulled Robert Picardo out of my ass. I just remember Picard. That was the easiest way to remember that.
They brought Jonathan Frakes. They brought Jonathan Frakes
Oh,
in
yeah,
to direct a
yeah.
couple episodes. Robert Duncan McNeil directed a few episodes. Which
I
he's
didn't
from
realize
Paris.
the consultant on the entire first season and the director of the pilot, I think it was the pilot episode, John Favreau.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was involved at all. I did
Yeah.
not remember that. And then I was
Yeah.
watching, I was like, holy shit. Because again, he's a fantastic storyteller too.
well, and then I don't remember her name off the top of my head. The woman that plays Bolano Torres also wrote an episode.
She's fantastic. I love her so much in Voyager.
Yeah,
Dude,
and then they have Brandon Braga producing all the episodes and everything like that. So like it's all.
Q is an absolute cunt. I just want to say that. I don't like Q.
Oh, cute. You're talking the actor, right? Or are you
The
talking?
actor, character, just all of it.
Well,
Just-
because the actor is a total fucking asshat.
Yeah,
I have
bleeds through in the
never-
character. Maybe it's because I knew that, but I mean, he's also set up to be the villain in the first
Well,
episode.
no,
but,
I mean Q has always kind of been a character that's a bit of a.
but I mean, having
asshole.
seen the actor now and I know more about the actor, like I see him and I'm just like, oh, fuck this asshole.
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh, I hate.
I mean,
again, I don't know if he gets
there's-
better and
There's some
becomes a
episodes where like
good
it
guy
gets,
later,
it gets
but-
better, but especially the pilot. Yeah,
fucking cunt in the first episode.
Q's a dick.
He just shows up and he's like, oh, I'm gonna put you on trial because humans suck. And I'm just like, fuck this guy.
There are a few episodes that have Q involved that are really good, but for the most part, he's supposed to be portrayed as like not really a villain, but like kind of just an annoying force that the team will run into from time to time.
Gotcha.
But there the one episode, and I don't want to spoil too much of it, but pretty much he loses all his powers, and it's such a
Good.
good episode because like they contrast him to the other people on the ship,
Gotcha.
and it's him trying to like come to terms with being a human. It really like they did it really well, but like the only reason it's so well done is because the build up to that point, showing him being like pretty much a godly dick, just makes that episode a lot better. If you didn't have that, it wouldn't have that transition wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
Which
makes
that's another thing why I like Q as a character much more in Voyager, because in Voyager he's pretty much already gone through that transformation, and
Yeah.
like
I just
and-
I hate the actor so much. I met him one time and I was just like, what an absolute fucking asshole.
yeah.
I get that.
Because basically his whole attitude was just like, oh, fuck you, stupid Star Trek nerd. By the way, pay me to be here. And I'm like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
you're here because
actually-
fans. What?
Well, I was just gonna say the main thing that he was pissed off about was people consistently asking him about My Little Pony, and he doesn't like anything with My Little Pony because
Which again,
it's not a challenge for him as an actor, so he doesn't like discussing him being in My Little Pony.
then don't fucking
and-
do the part. I'm sorry
No,
that
100%.
I liked you in a. I mean, I have not seen My Little Pony, but it's like I'm sorry I liked you in a role. Like, fuck off. Which I
Yeah.
was actually told them new My Little Pony shit's supposed to be really fantastic because it was written by the guy that did fucking Powerpuff Girls.
Speaking of which, speaking of My Little Pony, did you guys see the new
I did.
supplement for D&D?
Oh shit.
They're adding in My Little Pony. It's a crossover.
Oh
of,
shit!
it's a Dungeons and Dragons My Little Pony crossover.
Well, I'm changing my character. Corey creates a new character. I'm creating a new character.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
they're adding in friendship.
Twilight
magic.
Sparkle. It'll be Twilight Sparkle. That's the only name I know, and I always screwed up because I normally say Twilight Princess. People are like Zelda.
Twilight. No, and then
Sparkle, sunshine.
which I'm like, I don't understand why they're doing this. Like an official supplement doesn't really make sense for a crossover. But
No offense though, but they did the same thing with Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering makes sense because so Magic it takes place on different planes. So D&D takes place on different planes. So crossing planes makes sense.
Mhm.
How are you bringing My Little Ponies into D&D
Different plane.
or canon?
Different plane.
Okay, so My Little Pony takes place on a multiplanar existence, and now you're traveling.
We're literally talking about a world full of magical ponies that fly around and shoot lasers. I'm sure that there's multiple dimensions there, motherfucker.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Multiple planes is where we draw the line.
Well, but see that like I thought it was, as much as I loved it, I thought it was kind of pushing it, having an official supplement as Rick and Morty.
That
Like-
again, I will argue with you on that because
Like,
again,
Because
Rick and Morty, if using your own
no, right,
thought device there, yeah, I was gonna say Rick and Morty takes place in millions of different dimensions.
right.
And I'm sorry, but I have it right there, and I am so fucking happy. It is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I need to read the second volume of the actual the
No,
comic
no.
book that they
I'm
made for it, by the
I'm
way.
talking like the.
I know
Actual,
what you're talking about.
okay.
I'm saying I have both right here.
Okay.
I have the act like Drake bought me for Christmas. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Show and tell. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually came with dice. It's the full actual campaign and a fucking DM screen that I did not realize.
Oh yeah.
So, DM screen, right?
Uh-huh.
That's my wallpaper on my
Yeah.
computer.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I always wondered where that came from. That looks really weird, not seeing my Steam video game library on the bottom of it. Dude, the best part of this, I gotta say though, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get off topic on this, but this actually comes like the game. So it is characters created by the characters of Rick and Morty. So, like, for instance, this is Summer's character, Ari Strongbow. She is a half-elf fighter. Jerry plays a wizard sage half-elf. Morty plays a half-orc eunuch.
Sounds
Oh,
right.
excuse me, rogue. Background is he's a eunuch. And then
Oh.
Beth plays a cleric soldier. But, like, it's some of the funniest shit. Like, personality... Where's Jerry's? Personality traits. I'm finally smart enough to realize I'll never be good enough. Ideals for his character. Power is cool, but only if used to protect the innocent. Bond. I'm finally courageous enough to fight for my friends and family. And then flaws. No matter how hard you try, you'll lose everything you love. It's just like fucking Jerry, man. This shit is just so fucking funny.
Yeah, no. And then the other big supplement that's coming out is the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Yep.
Yes, that
I
is a big motherfucking deal.
So fucking
I
excited.
didn't even know that
Oh,
was coming. Did that just get announced, or was like
It just got announced 2 days ago.
okay? So when we all talked about that in the group chat,
That day it was announced.
okay, because I was like, I didn't even hear about this until 2 days ago, but I didn't realize it was because it wasn't announced until
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah, and it's coming out November
Yeah, I can't wait.
17th.
I thought
Yeah.
that was such a cool thing.
I
Oh,
really
yeah.
like the fact that they're switching it up a little bit so that way you can like customize your origin. So that way, like instead of just like the generic, oh, I'm a human, so I get a +1 to every ability, like that thing, like you can actually change your ability score modifiers for races based off of the origin that you create for your character. So like having a gnome that grew up like working a farm and hunting and to bring in food for the family, having like a +2 constitution and a +2 strength would actually make sense.
So hold on. So like question there. So I play a high elf, even though
Yes.
a wood elf fit my character better. I picked high elf because of the fact that it was a +1 to intelligence.
Correct. So you would have been
I
able
would have been able to use it
Wood elf.
+1.
with a +1 to intelligence.
That's the greatest thing ever.
That's
Oh shit. That's exciting.
because then it opens up more customization options
Yeah.
and you're picking stuff based off of I want to do this because it fits my character better, but I still want these abilities.
See, I started having to write the other way where it was, oh, I want these abilities. How can I make that fit?
Yep.
Which I was like, I kind of hated that because again, for me, my character, a wood elf, would have fit so much better. But I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to be high elf because I want to get as close to 20 intelligence as I can. Which, by the way, when I hit level 8, my intelligence will be 20, and I'm extremely excited about that. Dude, I was at work explaining D&D to a coworker because she was like, I've always wanted to play, but I don't know anything about it. So I was explaining it, and I was explaining all the different, what's the word? Attributes, skills?
Yeah.
Like intelligence, strength, dexterity, charisma, ability, modifiers and all that. And I was explaining it, and I was like, yeah, so like I'm, a wizard, so everything I do uses intelligence. So I have a +4 when casting spells, and then I'm proficient, so that gives me another, or I'm sorry, it's +3, I think, and then +4 for being proficient. Either way, it's +7. And
Modifier right now should be a +3. So
Mm-hmm.
you have a +4, and then your proficiency bonus is a +3.
that's
Yeah,
it. Okay.
because of your level right now.
So that's it. But I was explaining that, and I was like, yeah, so anytime I roll, I get +7 on intelligence. And then like about a minute, there was a customer that was standing nearby when I was explaining all this. And she came back over to me and she said, hey, a customer has a question about how to change something on their phone. Can you show me how to do it? And he was like, yeah, just use your intelligence modifier, you fucking nerd. I was like, man, fuck you, asshole. But that is great. I was like, that's a good story at least. Like this dude looked like an absolute just like piece of shit guy anyway.
That's really funny.
But I was just like, that is so funny.
Yeah, I do like the fact that they're incorporating something else that I've seen in Critical Role, but apparently it's like a Matt Mercer thing that they're actually starting to incorporate into D&D now.
They've just started doing all of his shit into
Are supernatural environments. So
Nice.
like you have an environment where picture it kind of like Sentinels of the Multiverse, where you actually the environment is actually part of the initiative, and environment, like you can have like different things like come in and like grasping vines and that kind of stuff.
That's fucking
The
cool.
environment to actually like affect gameplay and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool that they're actually finally incorporating stuff like that, like actually into D&D. Like it's technically been there, like you could have built it yourself, but the fact that it's going to be incorporated into a book's just awesome.
I still need to go through, and I'm missing actually like half the fucking like books that I feel are pretty important
With
D&D.
like what
Like
book?
I'm trying to. I don't know if you can see it. I am sitting so weird in this chair.
Yeah, I know. Like you keep getting like smaller and smaller and smaller and off to the side.
So
and-
like, hold on, I want to see my camera. You can't see me at all. My leg is on the desk. My left hand is underneath my leg, but my right hand is over my leg, trying to type on a keyboard that's sitting basically where my ass is. No, I don't have Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Flipping through here, like all of the books that it like recommends, like it's like, oh, you should have these as a player. I just don't have.
like Xanathar's Guide, I would highly recommend.
This new
Player's
one?
Guide, obviously. I would
I've got the
recommend.
Player's Guide, obviously.
But
then like I'm trying to remember what they are. They recommend there's 6 books, 5 if you're a player, 6 if you're DM, and they were like, get these like 5 books. This is what you need.
even as a player, DM's Guide is good just because it has tables for different creatures and stuff like that. Like for what are they called? Familiars and that kind of stuff.
So it recommends having. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
It recommends having Player Handbook, Monster Manual, Dungeon Master's Guide, Horde of the Dragon Queen, The Rise of Tiamat, and Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
So
And
the ones I got are just the regular player handbook. I always recommend having that. Just you need it. Just
Well,
a base.
yeah, I was gonna say that's every player should have that, in my opinion.
Xanathar's Guide.
I need to get that.
I have Vol's Guide.
Vol's Guide to Monsters is amazing.
Yep.
You just pulling out D&D books now? Okay, I'll be right back.
And then the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount.
Yes, I've got that on a wish list on Amazon. I need to just buy it.
What did you just do? Because your mic sounds immensely better.
He was close.
I guess.
But what I was trying to say earlier was I'm glad they're doing environment stuff because as a DM, that was one of the things, like you said, I had to incorporate myself. It felt really weird. And like my players really thoroughly enjoyed when I had the environment act as like a sentient, like
Yeah.
essentially an NPC, because not only did they have to focus on the monsters in front of them, but they also had to put into their mind, oh, the trees are attacking us, so we have to watch out for that as well.
Yeah, all I've got the Player Handbook, and then because we're playing it right now, I bought the Guide to Everyone Rising from the Last War.
See, I don't know why that thing is recommending Rise of Tiamat, because I mean, not that it's bad, but it's
Just on the list. It was saying these are like for big. So maybe is that a player or a campaign? Maybe
it's a short adventure for characters levels 8 through 15.
So
8 to 15. I don't know why they're
overall,
beginners then.
always,
Yeah.
like you said, DM guide. Even if you're not a DM, just it's nice to have.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then monster manual.
Yeah.
See, Tiamat is one of those ones that I've thought about, but it really wasn't one of those that I was just like
Oh,
wanted to go buy it.
hey, real quick, I'm so sorry because I misread this entire post. I pulled up an article and then just clicked on the screenshot. The screenshot was just here's some books for D&D. The
Oh.
actual recommendations are Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, Xanathar's Guide to Everything, Monster Manual, Vola's Guide to Monsters, and then I cannot pronounce this. Morden
Morden.
Tome of Foes.
Yeah, more
Ooh.
on the phone.
And then it says if you're going to get an adventure path, do Eberron because it's extremely fun.
Yep.
True.
The one you couldn't pronounce was is my next one. I need to get.
Yeah, those are the 6 though that it says. That's what you really need is those.
Yeah.
But again, my thing is for $50 a pop. I was like, don't get me wrong, like I love D&D, but for me at least where I'm at right now, the player handbook was enough. I was like, and I'm probably going to get this new, the new book, and then Xanathar's Guide to Everything I might pick up as well.
Oh,
But
I would recommend
for
it.
being a basic character like I am, I mean, I literally, I just had a hour-and-a-half long call with Wayne about 4 days ago, maybe 5 days ago, just discussing how to play a wizard because I didn't know what to do. Like the last game that we played a week ago today was so bad for me as a player because I didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing as a wizard. I've never played before. As a wizard, I should say. I've always played rogue. And for me, I was like, oh, all I need to do is damage. Don't worry about anything else. Just do damage. And so I just kept casting spells that were doing damage. And then afterwards, everyone was like, well, you had this. Why didn't you use this? Or, why didn't you do this? It buffed us and we could have helped us. And I was like, oh, well, I don't do buffing. I don't buff people and I don't, debuff either. I was like, I do straight attack. And they were like, but you're playing a wizard. And I was like, yeah, really powerful. And they were like, yeah, but that's not how wizards are supposed to be played. And I was like, oh, really? And they were like teaching me like, oh, if you do this, then you can do this. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. So I was like, I definitely don't need to be adding more textbooks right now when I'm like, I'm still trying to learn how to play the fucking character.
So I will agree with you, Joe. That was my big thing. I was just like you. I never played any character that required magic because at first magic, to me, it was so confusing. I didn't understand spell slots, and I think that's one of the intimidating things about just magic users is
So
it's
much.
a lot you have to manage. But honestly, once you understand it, you'll just fall so much in love with the character because you can do so much stuff. And don't get me wrong, I love my hack and slash rogue, but being able to cast spells and being able to do something that can get the party out of a bad situation with just a single spell, one of the greatest feelings.
Yeah. My big thing was, I've played 2 actual games of D&D that I consider actual campaigns because they went more than one session.
Okay.
We've done a lot of things where it was, oh, we're going to start a new campaign. And then everyone got together for the first session. And then, okay, when are we going to do the second? Oh, well, I'm not free. I'll let you know when I'm free. We never get together again.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done that 8 times. So when we started our first actual session, we were playing Pathfinder, which is D&D 3.5 for anybody watching that doesn't know. But I literally made my character on the way to the session because I was just like, I don't care because we're not going to be playing this. This isn't actually going to be a thing. So I just threw it together and I was just like, fuck it. I'm a rogue because I'm always a rogue, and I'm going to be a drow because I'm always a drow. And fuck it, I just try to steal as much shit as I can, and I fuck corpses because it's funny, and the party just freaks out when I do. So there we go. That's my character. And then this time around, I was like, well, I want to do something new, and I was like, I'm going to do something completely different. I'm going to be a wizard. I want to use magic. I want to learn more, which I did not know at the time. Wizard is the hardest class apparently to master.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to be a wizard. So I wrote this insane backstory. It's 4 pages long. And for me, that was a big, thing. I was going from, hey, I don't have a backstory to here's 4 pages. For me, it was a big deal. And I was like, I love the character. But then I was I created this character that now I'm I don't know what to do. Cause Tyler will text me as the DM and be like, hey, just trying to see where your goals are, what you're trying to do. What does Zareth want? And I'm just like, I don't know. And he's like, but like, what would you want to do? And I'm like, I have this one goal. And he's like, okay, cool. Other than that, what are you trying to do? And I was like, nothing. I want to do that. And he's like, okay, so that's like your final like stage. Like, you don't want anything between here and there. And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know how to play this game. So like, I'll put it this way. I'm a wizard that didn't even take Fireball because I didn't know that was important. And the entire, like, the last like 4 sessions have been us as a party trying to get me Fireball. So like we had to like go find a store that could like make a scroll, and then I got the scroll, and now I need to use 160 gold worth of supplies to write it into my spell book, but nobody has that kind of gold. So like we're all just like,
we have the gold, we don't have the supplies.
We officially have it after this last session. We didn't have it before. Because like I talked to Jet, and Jet was like, yeah, I don't have the gold to help you with that.
Because Jet had it.
Because when I last talked to him, he said, yeah, I don't have enough gold for that. Because he gave me 80 gold to buy the scroll, and then he gave Dalcarin 80 or 90 to buy his weapon, and then Dalcarin fucking just takes off and joins another fucking game. And apparently, I made a comment to Wayne, and Wayne was just like, I can't wait until we go through and we find Lady Vol, and we find all these people, and we find Dalcarin, and we kill Dalcarin. And then Jet's just going to walk over and be like, I loot the body for the 90 gold that fucker owes me.
Yeah.
Or he's just going to repossess his weapon. Be like, yeah, you never paid the tab for this, so I'm taking it back.
That's funny. But like the guys I'm running through D&D, they've never played, so my big thing was I want to try to make it as easy as possible, but I wanted them to give me their backstory, and kind of like the same thing with you. They were just like, well, I want to do this. And I'm like, is that your end goal? Like, you're not going to do this. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, this is your world. Like, this is your character. Like, if you get to decide what happens, you get to decide like what's going on. And I need this information because I'm going to build a world around that. And they're like, so I can do anything. I'm like, you can do anything. I just need to know what
that's the freedom.
I know. Like, I just need to know what you're going to do so I can help you try to achieve that or not achieve that or whatever. But I just need to know. And like, after I explained that to them, they're like, okay. 2 weeks later, when we met up again, they had so much more backstory, so much more information. Like, their character really just exploded, and it was nice as a DM because then I had plot hooks, I had reasons to go places, I had like people I could interject into the story, and then they would question it, and it was just a really cool thing. So like, my big thing with anybody starting D&D, really have fun with it.
Yeah.
Just go all out, have fun with it, and experiment.
See, the two things that I have problems with, and again, I need to just get over both of them, but the first problem I have is I've always liked to write my whole life. I don't consider myself a good writer by any means, but before waiting on this podcast, I was literally right here. I've got paper that I've been scribbling notes on for a graphic novel, and I was just like, I've always wanted to write a graphic novel, and fuck it, why not? I'm just going to do it.
Hey.
And I love to write, but I've never liked cooperative stuff. So like, even in school, when it would be like, oh, hey, like, we're going to like partner you off, and there's 3 of you, go and write something, I would always take charge. And then when somebody else was like, well, I'm going to do this, I'm like, but that doesn't fucking fit because this is what I've done. And I'm like, get the fuck out of the kitchen, basically. Where on the flip side of that, now this is Tyler's world. So I'm like, well, I don't want to take, something and say, oh, well, this is happening because it's not my world. It's Tyler's world. And Tyler's like, yeah, but as a player, you need to tell me and I'll fit whatever you want. He's like, you have, like you said, free reign. Just tell me what you want. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not my book. This isn't my story. This is your story. You need, I can't write in your world. And he's just like, no, that's not at all what this is. And I need to just get over that. But the second thing I have trouble with is my character, a little bit of backstory. This has been discussed on the air 2 or 3 sessions ago for anybody that does watch the D&D podcast. But my character is basically somebody who his wife was killed, his children were taken. They were essentially the wife was pregnant at the time. Wife is killed, infants are taken, and there we go. And now my entire backstory is I want to find my children if they're still alive or not, and I want to resurrect my wife. So I'm like, that's what I want to do. And Tyler was like, awesome. What else? What other goals do you have? And I'm just like, fuck everything else. Nothing's important. I want this. And he's like, yeah, but like, what else do you want to do? And I'm like, resurrect my wife. Like, I don't know what else to do. And he was like, okay, how do you want to accomplish resurrecting her? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't even know if that's possible in this world. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like, oh, hey. So I've just been following the party around. And anytime the party is just like, oh, hey, we need to go over here, I'm just like, righto, I'm going to follow you guys. So
I will
it's
say,
just trying to like find a way to get into that. What's up, Nick?
so Dakota's wanting to know. So he was looking.
Yes, I will suck your dick, Dakota. I'm sorry, we've not got to that yet, but yes, I will. Let me finish this first. I'm gonna need it.
He was wanting to get the D&D starter kit. Trying to
Yes,
get
we've
into
got to
D&D.
work.
So like the D&D starter kit's really nice, but it's basically like they took the basic rules you need from the DM's guide, the basic rules you need for the player's guide, and then a couple monsters stat blocks, and then put it together in a thing with a couple maps and some like little things. So like out of the box, it's the fastest way. Yep, right there, shown right there. But it's a real easy, fast way to get going, but it doesn't give you a lot of stuff. It just basically scratches the surface of what you have available. If you're really looking to diving into getting into DMing and stuff like that, I would personally recommend like if you're looking at the cheapest price point to be able to do it, I would say look at online free resources, specifically stuff like DM's Guild, which is a Wizards of the Coast website where people put in their homebrew like stuff that they make, and they're like, oh, I'm a DM, this worked well for me because of these reasons. And a lot of it is available for free, or for you set your own price point is like a donation to them or whatever. But that's what I would recommend starting.
I'm looking real quick on what's it called? I'm checking out Half Price Books to see if they sell it.
Probably not this.
Not as cheap actually, so it's cheaper than Amazon. Well, no, I was gonna say the player handbook itself.
Deal. I don't know why they were selling it this way, but I went to a Meijer near me. I got the starter kit and the essential kit, which right here. I got one full price and the other one half off, which I thought was a really good deal at the time. So I bought both of them. My honest opinion on both of them, if you get the starter kit, like Nick said, it's a good way to kind of introduce yourself into it, but it just scratches the surface. Like I can see the point of it was just like getting people in, like interested in doing it. With the essential kit, it adds a little bit more flavor, but honestly, it wasn't worth it, in my opinion. But what Nick suggested would be a really good place to go. There's a lot of good information, and yeah, like it's total. Like I feel like that suggestion would be if you want to have the starter kit, because the starter kit comes with pre-made sheets. It's your basic fighter, archer, wizard, and something else. I think cleric. And they're already pre-made. That gives you a guidebook that kind of gives you an explanation of like, hey, this is your first time being a DM. These are kind of the things you look for and look out for. And we've already made these sheets for you. You just hand them out, and then you just play. And then it kind of gives you tips like how you, if you're being a DM, like how you can hook people into stuff, and don't be afraid to challenge and stuff like that. It's a really good starting place. But for the price, not really worth it.
I will say, hold on real quick with that. I'm not trying to jump in, but real quick, just because I know what we sell it for at work. I won't say where we work, but where we sell it. or how much we sell it for. Amazon has it for $12, where we have it for 25. So if you are looking at the starter kit, Dakota, I would go on Amazon. It's Prime shipping, so if you have Prime, it's free shipping. If not, we could always work something out where I could always order it for you. You give me money. We could talk about that later. But the other thing is we sell the starter kit for $25, where Amazon is selling the player handbook for $23, which that list price is supposed to be $50.
Yeah.
So the player handbook is cheaper than the starter kit at our work. So you may, if you're wanting to get
Oh
that, look
shit!
at
And
that.
the DM's guide's only $26.48.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're much cheaper on Amazon. I hate to say that because I always just say personally support local bookstores, local game stores.
Yeah,
But like, there's a lot of stuff that I went to half price books. I mean, or not half price books, excuse me. Barnes and Noble. I went to Barnes and Noble to buy Eberron.
Yeah.
It was $50 there, 50 or 60. I got it for $17 on Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah.
$17. It was on sale, and I was just like, "This is the fucking way to go." I hate to say it, but I mean, I can literally buy 3 books for the price of the one. And I love Barnes and Noble. I want to help them, but at the same time, I gotta go where I can afford.
Oh no, I completely agree.
So
Like
I
you said,
mean,
if they didn't have that deal with the starter kit and essential kit, I probably wouldn't even touched it. But with having just pay full price for one and get the other one half off, to me that was a really good buy. But now knowing that the player handbook is pretty much the same, like cheaper than that, I would just go with the player handbook and just go from there. But if you're wanting to DM, the starter kit is not a bad idea. And with it being only, you said $12 on Amazon,
and it's $12, and the essential kit's $15.
dude, that's
I mean, shit.
And
For
that's
less
a
than
really good
30, you can get both.
as a DM, in my opinion.
And the
So
other
that-
thing is, I mean, again, it's a good way to get in there and just kind of scratch the surface of, do I like this? That's another thing is D&D is not a hobby. I've talked to a lot of people that personally, I know that went in and were like, "Oh, I want to get into D&D. It's supposed to be so cool. Look at this. I spent $600. I'm not kidding. I had a friend spend $600 on Dungeons and Dragons and then bought all of this stuff and then was just like, it's okay. And I'm like, yeah, what are you going to do with all this stuff now? They're like, I mean, I don't know. And it's like you spent $600 on a hobby that you may not like. It's not for everyone. I personally, I cannot explain enough how incredible it is to be able to build a character and just live this life and do all this stuff. It's so incredible and it's fun for people that like that kind of storytelling. But some people don't like it. So I mean, I would definitely look at doing something like the starter kit for $12 or the player handbook for 23, because then you're at least, if you decide you don't like it, you're out $23. What's the worst that happened there? You're out $23.
Well,
Don't go crazy and just start buying. Like I said, there's 6 essential books online that they say everyone should have. Don't go out and buy all 6 books.
Mhm.
Like, you don't need them. You need a player handbook. That's what you need. Other than that, I mean, you could do everything with that in a DM book. With those 2 books, you could do anything you want.
Mhm. I will say another thing I would also recommend before spending the money on those books until you're 100% positive. Another really good resource that a lot of people don't even think about because like they typically forget that they even exist. Local libraries, like all books are available at the library. Like I have rented the Player's Guide, DM's Guide, Monster Manual, and Xanathar's Guide to Everything, all from the Southport Library, and that was going in, seeing it on the shelf, grabbing it off the shelf, and renting it.
I was
So,
don't mention ARG.
huh?
I was like so worried because I was like, don't mention ARG.
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 Oh no.
Like, don't bring that up on a podcast.
No.
You were like the library, and I was like, that's a great resource.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's one of those where like nobody ever thinks about doing the library, but yeah.
No, you're right. I honestly forgot about the library.
So the starter kit, it does not have any books with it. It has basically like little I mean, you've got them right there in front of you. How many pages are?
I'll put it this way, Dakota. Easiest explanation is you want to buy a $60 game, okay? And basically, if you buy the starter kit, you're downloading the demo.
Yeah.
You're downloading a demo of, okay, this is, and it's not free, but I'm using that example where, oh, I'm downloading the free sample of, okay, what can I do? And it's all very basic. I mean, you're talking, it's maybe 40 pages. I'm going to estimate, well, he's counting maybe 40 pages, which the player handbook is at least 300 to 400, and the DMs is about 500 to 600. So, I mean, you're talking, it's very much a basic, this is how you play the game, this is how you roll to attack, this is how you roll to cast a spell, here's 20 spells, that's it, there you go, get started. If you like it, you can get more stuff.
So
$12, it's not bad, but it is very much a starter where it's just, it physically gets you into your first session.
But Dakota's also said so. Does have reasons for wanting to learn D&D. Not only does he want to learn, but he also has hopes of making his own tabletop RPG by learning how to play D&D.
We've
Which
talked about that before, and I absolutely think that would be an incredible idea, Dakota.
well, and the other thing about it is that brings me back to my original thing. Then I would recommend doing like making an account on DM's Guild, because with DM's Guild, like you can put stuff on there, and you can be like, hey, I'm kind of thinking about doing this. Here's how I'm doing this. Here's some small rules to get people started, and people will play test it and get back to you with, hey, this is more balance. This needs to be changed a little bit, and so on and so forth.
The other thing is most of
That's another community that's really good to get in with.
Most of those sites, the community is so nice.
And Reddit.
Like, well, but I mean, like a lot of people on Reddit. No offense to Reddit.
So
I
the
feel
Dungeons and Dragons subreddits, everybody, it's a really good community.
okay.
So like
A
there's
lot
a
of-
lot of stuff on Reddit where I would not recommend my worst enemies to try to do
Yeah.
it.
So what comes in the starter kit is it's a very basic starter set book. It's not even that thick. It goes through kind of some of the base general stuff. Second thing is the small campaign. It's pretty thorough with what it does. It like has, show the audience, like maps and stuff, and explains. I've read it multiple times because right now I'm running the guys that I'm playing through it because they're new to D&D. It's really nice. It kind of it's I kind of hate saying this, but it's like baby's first adventure. It's not as
Wrong.
there's if they mess something up, it's a little bit more lenient. Whereas if I was reading it from a book or if I was making it myself, I would be a little bit harder on them. Where in that story, if they roll low, it's not going to be devastating. The other thing is the prefabricated character sheets. Like I just grabbed the rogue just to show off one of them, and literally it has all the stats, everything filled out, and even on the back it gives like backstory and all that, and it's pretty like in depth. You start out at level 1 and like you can add your experience and stuff as you go, but it's pretty much just written out for you. But that is all you get from the starter kit.
The one tip I will tell you as well, if you are looking at getting into D&D, and especially as the DM, you would have the power to make this decision. There's 2 ways to level up in D&D, and personally, I have absolutely fallen in love with milestone leveling up as opposed to XP.
Yeah.
Traditional XP, essentially, whoever kills the monster gets XP. Whoever does this, you can get XP. You earn XP and then you level up from that. Milestone leveling up is the party levels up as the DM essentially not permits it, but decides. So like, for instance, last week, we all leveled up to level 6. So that keeps everyone at the same level. That way you don't have one person that hits level like 12 and everybody else is at level like 6. You don't want to have that. I have played a game where, I don't know. We got to the end of the session, somebody had leveled up, and then everyone else was like, well, I'm still at first level, and it sucked because it was like, well, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I don't know why I'm here.
Yep.
And it really just disheartens players very quickly. and that's one thing to help keep everyone together and bring them together as a group. But that's just an opinion. Like I said, that's just me.
My opinion, I solely go with the milestone. With the new players I'm playing with, I'm doing milestone because as a team, they are leveling up, they are gaining abilities together, and I think they've hit level 4. They're already talking about like, well, I get this at this, and when I get here, we can do this, and like instead of like your examples like, oh, I hit level 5 and all you are still level 4, I get this sweet ability, and you guys still have kind of your old stuff. God, it's
Here we go. Copy, and I'm gonna paste this. I can't really paste this on here because it's actually I can paste it over here. So I thought about this, and it turns out I was right. So I am posting a link in the chat. That link, so because of COVID, Wizards of the Coast actually released a bunch of free source materials. And the source material they released on April 7th was the starter set PDF as well as the pre-generated character sheets.
Ooh, nice.
So everything except for the adventure that comes in the starter kit, you can download the PDF off of their website for free at the link I just posted.
Very cool.
Hey Nick,
Hey, what?
this is unrelated to everything, but before I forget about it,
Yeah.
did you pre-order Avengers
Yes, I did.
on Xbox?
Yes, I did.
Which version?
The big $200 master fucking.
Oh, okay, never mind. I don't know how that's gonna work then. Okay, never mind. Well, I got the digital deluxe edition, and I get access to it Tuesday. The game doesn't come out till next Friday, but I get 4 days early access.
What?
So I don't know. Well, your version may come out Tuesday, like NBA, like the NBA games and the I don't know what the sports games are called, Madden or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm not a
I
sports
know
person.
everything's getting released early.
Correct. So like they do editions where it's like, oh, if you want to buy the $100 edition, you can buy it Tuesday. If you want the $50 edition, you got to wait till Friday. So like your release date may be September 1st.
Cool.
So are you looking it up?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up right now. Pre-orders?
I say it may say September 1st.
No, this says I have no pre-orders.
Did you do online?
I did online.
Yeah, for some reason, if you do online, it doesn't work. You need to actually go and get the actual the email. But on GameStop's website, did you do GameStop or Best Buy?
GameStop.
Okay, GameStop's website shows September 1st for the Earth's Mightiest Heroes edition.
Okay.
So the actual game does not come out until Friday, but if you order the deluxe edition or Earth's Mightiest Heroes edition, you get it on Tuesday. Like it actually shows if you buy like the $50 edition, release date is different. So you'll get it on Tuesday.
So I should get it when?
So you can get it. Did you do shipping to home or pick up in store?
Shipping to home.
You should get it day 1 on the 1st if you paid for day 1 shipping.
I didn't pay day 1 shit.
Sometimes you still get it on day 1.
My email. Granted, my email was set for I received this email on August 16th, but it says that I should. The release date is 9/4 on the email I have.
See, that's the thing. I don't know. So, because here's the thing with online shipping of video games, the way it works is if you do day 1 shipping, it will if it comes out on the 1st, your game will ship on the 25th, 26th. It'll ship. And then it has a sticker on it that says to the post office, do not deliver this until September 1st.
Yeah, I'll give that.
If you don't do day 1 shipping, normally they will ship it from the actual warehouse September 1st.
Yeah.
So you will most likely have it by Wednesday.
But
everyone else was showing their animals earlier, but here's my kitty cat. We got to meet Wayne's dog, and who else did we see? Oh, Nick, we saw your dog.
Yeah. But no, so Joey was saying the character sheet that you were holding up looked like 5th edition, and was asking if there are starter kits for different versions and which version you recommend for him to start with. My thing is,
Who asked that? Joey?
Joey was asking like which version to recommend for
I
Dakota.
thought, I was gonna say, I was like, I thought Joey's been playing D&D for
Oh,
fucking
Yeah,
years.
Joey plays, but
There is not anymore. If you're buying it from an actual like retailer,
it's all gonna be 5th edition.
correct, because the others have been out of print for so long they really don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I do believe that there was a starter kit for 4th edition. However, like I said, unless you're buying it at like a pawn shop or like a half price books or something, you're only going to have the one standard edition or the one starter edition.
Right. And then
Baby, you're so
but-
fat, honey. I can't
Joey's
wait.
saying that he personally prefers 3.5,
Yeah, which is Pathfinder, which
which is basically so yeah. So there's many different versions of Dungeons and Dragons. You have 3.5 is where like it started becoming popular again, and then they wanted to do 4th edition, so they sold 3.5 off to Paizo. Paizo did it as Pathfinder, so 3.75 is Pathfinder. Then you had 4th edition, but I would not recommend 4th edition by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, if you're not doing 3.5, do 5. Like,
No, I would say do 5. If you're not wanting to do 5, then look at 3.5. Don't worry about that.
that's what I'm saying. I was like,
Like-
pick this or this. Don't go here.
Yeah. 3.5 is the one.
Pathfinder has a lot of great features to it.
No, well, but so now you're talking 3.75. I'm talking straight 3.5 edition D&D.
Oh,
So like with
I
that,
literally did not realize there's a difference.
yeah. So,
That was my bad knowledge. I'm gonna be honest. I was playing with the cat. I heard very little about what you said.
so like with 3.5, it is really good, but it kind of ran into a situation that you
I
get
think I'm drunk.
just by having
I'm spinning.
a system that's been around for as many years as 3.5 was, where there's so
Wrong, my
much
headset.
stuff that you can break the game incredibly easily.
Oh yeah.
So which is kind of why they decided to do everything. So I was recommending doing 5e because 5th edition still has content coming out for it on a regular basis. It's starting to incorporate a lot of the stuff that people enjoyed from 3.5, but it takes a lot of the stuff and makes it easier and more streamlined. So 3.5 is one of those games where you sit down and it will take a lot of you will have to do a lot of reading going into it because there is so much stuff that goes into it. 5th edition is as simplified or as overly complicated as you want it to be.
Yep.
Whereas 3.5 is just complicated no matter how you try to do it. 4th
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
no, it's just if you're a beginner, I still 5th edition is easy to pick up. And another thing, if you're wanting to learn how it's played, like tune in every other Wednesday, watch us play. Like we play every other Wednesday, or tune in and watch Critical Role. Like that's actually how I became like really into 5th edition, was because I grew up playing 3.5. So like when we were playing Pathfinder because it's basically 3.5. And so it was a lot of the same stuff that I was used to. Watching Critical Role, I now feel like I'm more acquainted with 5th edition than I am with 3.5. And with 5th edition being more streamlined, it just makes everything easier.
Also an option, Dimension 20, if you have Dropout from College Humor. Brandon Mulligan, I think his name is.
So yeah.
Does a really good job as DM. His style is a little bit different than Matt Mercer's, but I would honestly do Matt Mercer before Brendan. But if you just want just to see another version, there's always Dimension 20.
There's also
There's companies all over.
what's a Harmon Quest.
Oh,
If
Harmon Quest's fantastic.
if you're wanting to learn and you enjoy the humor of Dan Harmon, Harmon Quest is so good.
Dakota, in case you do not know, Dan Harmon is the co-writer of Rick and Morty.
Correct.
So Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland both.
Seasons of Community.
Correct.
I can't
The
think-
thing with Harmon Quest is it's Dan Harmon and a few others playing D&D, but it's also animated. So like it is. Here's them playing D&D. Okay, here's the animation of it playing out. It is fucking funny. Harmon Quest actually is probably the best way to get into it. Whereas I love Critical Role. Don't get me wrong. I am a huge fan of Critical Role, but it
episode are you
is
on?
currently 104 episodes. They're all like 5 to 6 hours each.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's fantastic, but it's time consuming. I mean, I literally like mapped it out. You can watch all of One Piece faster than you can watch Critical Role.
Really?
Yes. Critical Role is currently over 600 hours. One Piece is about 500.
Because I am almost finished getting caught up with campaign 1.
Yeah. Dude, I know people that have watched all of One Piece in like a month. I know people that have done it. It's just not recommended. But I mean, you got to think, how many episodes are there currently of Critical Role? 101?
Season 2 is 105.
105. Let's say they're all 5 hours each. That's 525 hours, okay? One Piece is currently on about 950, and they're all 24 minutes each.
Yeah.
So we'll say like 0.4 hours, so 380 hours for One Piece. So yeah, you're talking it's almost Critical Role is almost double One Piece.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like it's don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. I don't think anything bad about
Is
it.
that
It
just
it
the
is
one
long.
campaign?
Yeah, that's just campaign 2. That does not include campaign 1.
Because campaign 1 is 120.
And I should say, this is a very rough estimate. I have seen episodes of Critical Role that are only like 2.5 hours long, but the majority are like 5 to 6.
Campaign 1 is 141 episodes.
And I mean, again, if that's 5 hours each, that's 705 hours.
Yeah.
So if you were to break that up into half-hour episodes, you would have to divide that by what? Because we're talking 5 hours.
Divided by 30. Or, well, divided by.
Yeah, so times 0.5. So
Yeah.
352.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I'm going the wrong goddamn way.
Yeah. I was going to say, what?
141 times 5 times 2. So it's about 1,400 half an hour episodes.
Yeah. Jesus.
Which again, that's half an hour. Which most half an hour shows are actually only 22 minutes. So,
Like
I said, Critical Role,
I'm
very
trying
long.
to catch up through chat. I will definitely look at 5e. Also, the link you posted. Anyway, I should say. I'm just saying. So, what you're looking at buying at Walmart for the $25, you can get that at the link that I posted legally for free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was just saying. If you were looking at doing the starter kit, when I posted that link, that's the starter kit for free. Because it takes you to a grouping of different things, and if you scroll down to where is it April 7th 2020 for new players to help players get started and their new campaigns up and running, we're pleased to offer the following material from the starter set. So it's the full starter set.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I remember them posting that.
Yeah,
Because
and,
that was a big
again,
thing
this
in our
is
group
all
chat.
because of COVID. Yeah,
It was literally, hey, since you guys, people shouldn't be leaving the house. Here's something to do with your family.
right, exactly.
I remember that.
And then you were saying you're asking about Critical Role. So Critical Role on is on YouTube and Twitch. You have to be subscribed to their Twitch channel in order to be able to watch previous episodes, but all previous episodes have been uploaded to YouTube. So you can watch the whole thing on YouTube.
Yeah, the thing with Critical Role is it runs 1 week behind on YouTube. But so that means like literally if episode 105 aired tomorrow, which is Thursday, then episode 104 will be uploaded to YouTube tomorrow.
Correct.
So it's literally you're just 1 week behind, which again, when you're talking 104 episodes anyway, just watch it on YouTube, get caught up, and then which also if you've got I can't remember if you have an iPhone or Android. If you have an iPhone though, they're all completely free on the Apple Podcast app as well.
Correct. So you can listen.
I listen to them
podcast
at work.
versions.
I literally do. I put one headphone in at work and I turn it on and I just kind of listen to that, and then I stop it as I need to. But granted, with that said, it's taken me forever. I think I'm only on episode like 8.
because with Critical Role, it's the way it's done.
It takes forever to
it's,
get through an episode for me.
It does take a bit to get through an episode, but the
What
way
the
it's done
hell?
is it's voice actors that play D&D. So
Dakota, you would know Laura Bailey. So the lead on Soul Eater, the girl that plays Maka on Soul Eater, she's in it.
Yep.
And then her husband Travis Willingham is in it. And the girl that is in The Last of Us,
Who is Mustang?
who's who?
Roy Mustang, the voice actor for Roy. I know he's one of the people.
I do not remember. Holy shit, dude. You spit in your chair and you realize how much alcohol you've had. Holy fuck.
who's the voice actor for? You said Roy Mustang.
Roy Mustang from Full Metal. He's one of the. I'm pretty sure he's
Trying to
one of
remember.
Travis
People.
Willingham.
Yeah, it's Travis. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was Travis, but I was like, shit, I can't remember. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
Then
watched
you have,
the episodes and you can tell his like natural voice is Roy Mustang because he comes out a few times.
yeah. Well, and then Matt
Or-
Mercer voiced what the fuck is his name in Fire Emblem? The main
Oh.
character in Fire Emblem Awakening.
Who are you talking about?
Lucio. I'm just naming names. While you're thinking of that real quick, Nick, while you're looking it up, or if you play the new Avengers game, the entire cast of Avengers is also in Critical Role.
Basically, yeah.
I swear to God, that game was basically let's get the entire cast of Critical Role and then also bring in Troy Baker.
Huh. Random tidbit of information: Travis Willingham and Troy Baker are the exact same height.
I did not know that. You know what I also didn't realize?
What?
So Ashley Johnson is married to a guy. I don't know his name. He does. There was a series. I can't remember what they called it, but it was behind the scenes with the cast of Critical Role,
Mhm.
where he did each member of the cast. But it was like a 2-hour interview where it's just them sitting around talking. It's really nice, really cool video. But I didn't realize he was married to Ashley Johnson. And their whole interview, I was watching it because I was a huge fan of A, Critical Role, but B, I had just finished playing the first Last of Us, and I was like, holy shit, Ashley Johnson is an absolute amazing, amazing voice actor.
She's a treasure.
Hey, you want to know another fact about Matt Mercer?
Sure.
He plays the. I did not know this because I don't watch the English version of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but he plays
I don't either.
Jotaro
Who?
in the
You broke
version.
up.
What?
Who? You broke up.
Jotaro.
Nice.
I did not know he played. I didn't know he did that. That's
I didn't either. I've never watched the English version.
He
JoJo's
also
Bizarre
plays
Adventure.
Grimlock in SAO.
Really?
what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back.
He's
and
also
rewatch
Doctor
that.
Strange in the current Spider-Man series.
I did know that. I've
Yeah.
not seen it though.
And he's also McCree in Overwatch, which that's another thing.
Yeah.
Because one of the characters has a feat. Oh shit! What the fuck is that feat?
Big feet.
No.
Big dick.
It's basically Indomitable Will from Seventh Sea. Basically,
I
like
have not played
the
Seventh
eidetic memory, basically.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
But
Keen Mind?
Keen Mind, thank you. Yeah. he
Holy
plays Keen
shit.
Mind feat.
All you had
Yes.
to say was, "Hey, what's that thing you're waiting until level 8 for?"
Oh yeah. Oh, you're taking Keen Mind.
These are my options.
Nice.
Okay, so
Nice.
here's my thing.
Yeah.
I can either take +1 to intelligence to make my intelligence 20, or I can take Keen Mind, which gives me +1 to intelligence and +1 to pissing off Tyler.
Basically, yeah.
So I'm taking Keen
Let's
Mind.
face it, it's a +10 to piss off Tyler. But
Dude, I'm literally just gonna constantly ask for the time.
but no, so
What time is it?
so that's the
What
thing
about now?
is they keep asking Matt Mercer what time it is because they keep wanting him to at some point say it's high noon as
Oh,
free.
shit, really?
And like he does it in one episode and everybody like freaks out and is like cheering and screaming and clapping and completely derails the session. But
I saw a video that I need
the
to-
name I was trying to remember, he's also Crom in Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh, Crom, yeah.
That's him.
I actually do remember that name. I'm gonna send you a video, Nick. You need to post it in the. I don't know if we have a link dump. I don't know.
And
how we
he's
do that.
also Levi in Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Do we do it really?
Yeah.
Fuck. I didn't know that. I haven't watched Attack on Titan since watching Critical Role though. No, I don't know if we do a link dump or what, but how we handle that. There is a funny as fuck video of the Critical Role cast where Laura Bailey is going over, to my understanding, it's a very short video, but she's going over sponsors. And Ashley Johnson picks up it's a set of dice, but it comes in this little box
Mhm.
and it's on like a hinge. So she's like moving the hinge and acting like it's talking, and she's like, "Hi guys, I'm," or whatever. And it's so funny because she stops and she looks at the camera and she goes, "Oh fuck, we're live, aren't we?"
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. And she's so embarrassed. She's like ducks away from the camera and they're like, "What?" And she's like, "I don't want to be on camera anymore."
That's funny.
Nick, I can see your copy of Oblivion that's literally to your bottom like right hand.
Yep, right here.
I just happen to see that. Dude, how long? We have got to be at like 3.5 hours. How
It
long
is
have we
going
been?
on 11.
I was
I
gonna
got
say
it.
2 hours and 34 minutes.
This is the longest thing, and we still haven't beat Fellowship of the Ring yet.
It's true.
But I am gonna go get out of here. I gotta
Yep.
get up early for work.
You enjoy that? I don't. I have one
Joe,
more day
I-
of freedom.
I know I am butchering this name.
You are.
Nagisa.
What is it?
Nagisa.
From
Assassination Classroom. Nagisa's dad.
I have not watched. I hate to say I've not watched Assassination Classroom yet.
I thought you did. Never mind.
No, it's on my list. Shannon watched it, I believe.
Gotcha.
It is on my list to
Oh.
watch. I've been told it's really good.
Fairy Tale Silver Fullbuster.
Oh shit! Who
Are you
is it?
serious?
Matt Mercer?
That's Matt Mercer. Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude, that's fucking Jesus Christ, his what's his fucking name? God damn it, he's the main character.
Silver.
Not to?
No, it's Natsu's best friend, the ice guy. Jesus.
Oh,
Gray Full.
great. There you go.
Why did that name escape me? Jesus, I have a fairy tale tattoo and I can't remember Gray Fullbuster. I am drunk, but anywho.
Silver Fullbuster. Yeah. That's,
God, dude, he doesn't come in until the Totoros arc, but God, he's a fucking badass.
Mhm.
Oh,
He's Creepmon, Beelzemon, and Omnimon from
Digimon.
Digimon Fusion.
I was gonna say that could only be Digimon. I'm gonna stand up and fall
What?
over.
He was also Tim Drake in Arkham Knight.
Yep, I knew that.
I
Mercer?
also love Joe. Sam Riegel.
Yes, I was gonna say Kennison.
No, Sam Riegel.
Yes,
So
I'm
so
following.
not.
I know. Yep, I'm following.
Uh, do you know what character he voiced?
Not Right.
Phoenix Wright.
really,
Yeah, he's Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
what?
Nice.
Dude, I was thinking about it the other day. Not thinking about it the other day, but I was reading an article and they were talking about the whatever you want to call it. CJ, I'm sorry. I know you're trying to get out of here.
Anyway, I gotta go. Later, guys.
Bye.
Take it easy.
But anyway, yep. See ya. We should probably start.
Yeah.
getting off the tree.
I was just gonna finish the thing real quick.
yeah.
They were talking about in Hollywood the like elite all play at John. What's his name? Maglio.
Joe Manganiello's.
Yes, they were like, oh, if anybody has played at his place, and that's where all the successful people go to play D&D and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, but like Critical Role, man, so much better. I was like, I've not seen it.
So Joe Manganiello is
I know
actually
he-
really close
I-
friends with all of them.
I know, but,
he's
and I know
actually-
he's got the it's the Gary Gygax Memorial Dungeon.
Right. But,
And I
but
get that.
what I'm
but-
saying is like so he doesn't actually broadcast their sessions that
Correct.
they play at his house, but he's actually guest starred on Critical Role a few different times.
has he?
like-
Okay.
I think he guest starred once in campaign 1 and once in campaign 2.
Okay, I didn't know
Um,
that they knew each other. Or not that they don't know each other.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I
No,
didn't
but
know that
but
they
like they've
were
flown
circles.
out to his house to guest star as NPCs in his campaign that he runs.
Oh,
with
that's
his
cool,
friends and
then.
stuff. Yeah, and then
That's cool.
also uh what was the other one? There's another girl that is a major nerd. And
No, I know this. Hold on. Deborah
yeah, Deborah Warhol.
Ann. There's an Ann in there.
Deborah Ann Wool.
Yes. Between the two of us, we figured it out. The girl from
Eventually.
Daredevil and True Blood.
Yep.
Yeah, she did a charity stream with D&D, and I was just like, what the fuck? She plays D&D?
Oh
I
yeah.
felt so bad for her. Have you seen her recently?
No.
Nothing happened to her, I should say. She apparently has such bad anxiety, she hasn't had a single audition since Daredevil.
Wow.
Like, she hasn't gone out and auditioned for anything because she was like, I'm too afraid that, like, maybe I'm washed up and, like, my career's over. So, like, I've been too scared to go and, like, audition.
That sucks.
So she literally has not had a job since Daredevil. And I was like, that's horrible because she is such a good actress.
Yeah.
Ending on a downer note.
But Joey said, "Hey Joe, try texting me because I haven't received anything from you in ages. But yeah, you're still in Merlin's Knights Discord, so that's probably the best way to get a hold of me."
Cool. So we should definitely get some time together to play Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
I literally refuse to play unless like you or Nick are involved because anyone else I've tried to play with fucking sucks. And I'm like,
Yeah, Joe, Jesus Christ, you need to watch more Critical Role because Ashley Birch is so amazing.
oh yeah, no, Ashley Birch is fantastic.
Uh,
But to follow up with what Joey was saying, everybody I try to play with fucking sucks and gets me killed, and they don't know how to like structure things, and there's no order, and I miss having Joey tell me what to do.
oh, here we go. So
It's so much easier to play.
you also got special guests that they've had: Mika Burton, Will Wheaton, Felicia Day, Phil Lamar, John Heater, Joe Manganiello.
I'm
Super
really
Nemo-
mad that they've not had Matthew Lillard on as a guest.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been a guest.
He showed up to do a hackers,
Yeah.
what do you call it, sponsor read.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Chris Hardwick, his episode is amazing.
Chris Hardwick is great.
Jennifer Hale, Yuri Lowenthal.
Jennifer Hale, talk about an actress that is very talented, but very much comes off I'm better than you.
Well, because she is.
Well, I'm not saying that's wrong. But I'm just like, when we saw her live, like I was like, oh my god, Jennifer Hale, this is so cool. And then like the whole time she was basically just like, I'm better than all of you. And I was just like, well, shit, she's full of herself.
Joey says, "Ha ha ha! I'd be happy to be your captain again."
I'm fine with that. Oh, Captain, my captain.
But anyway, it's getting late. We should probably be getting off of here. So
Even though I not
everybody else has left. So until next time, I'm Nick.
I'm Joe. That was CJ. That was Tyler. That was Wayne. That was Corey who didn't show up, and that was Drake and Shannon who didn't show up.
Yeah.
And we're your
So-
friendly neighborhood nerds.
Yep. And join us next week for more D&D.
And real quick, are we streaming Friday? Or are we
We're not
started
streaming Friday. I'm going to record it. If depending on how stuff goes, if people want us to release it, we can release it. But I'll just like screen capture it, and then if people want it, we'll have it.
Okay. Cool.
Anyway. All right. So yeah. So
Bye, guys.
Bye.
and that is ending.